got something behind your eyes, the way you're talking, it's a cheap disguise. We were made to chase the light, but you got saved on a moonless night. Get free tonight, set it all on fire.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Brawl League Ascension. I was waiting for the countdown. I was listening to the music on stream, and sometimes you get a little distracted, but we're back on track. My name is Sparky878, and sitting next to me,
I'm You Got Froned, and we're here today with the Brawl League Ascension North America tournament coming at you guys today. I think today we're starting out with the pretty much every aspect of the tournament before top 16. So we're going to be finding out who will make it into that upper echelon of the tournament today. And then tomorrow we'll be finishing it off with top 16 into the winner of this. And then where do they move on after this tournament next week?
Yeah, for those just tuning in to the Brawl League Ascension, this is a multi-phase tournament where each weekend is kind of its own tournament in and of itself. Like this weekend, you're like, what the heck is this Ascension stuff? What's with that goofy name? I don't know what that means. What that means is you have basically your own self-contained tournament this weekend. You have the beginning of the tournament up until top 16. That's what's going to be today. Then tomorrow will be top 16 until the end of the tournament. Now that top 16 will be moving on. That's what you want to be shooting for. That will be moving on up until the Swiss bracket, which will be next week, if I'm not mistaken. Next weekend will be,
Yes.
Are EU and NA on the same weekend?
I believe they are, yes.
Yeah, NA and EU are on the same weekend. One will be Saturday, one will be Sunday. But the way the Swiss bracket will work, and they'll go into more depth on the dev stream about this and next week about this, but it'll be basically different rounds. And if you win your game, you get 1 point. And if you lose your game, you don't get a point. But 3 losses and you're out, or 3 wins and you move on to the next round to play out similarly, but with fewer people. Then that filters down. And then the top 8 of that will be moving on to the final week, the official end of Brawl League Masters, to see who is the best in their respective regions.
And, on the plus side, we got, you can see on the graphic right there, the prize pool is $2,000 prize pool for the winners of the Ascension bracket, and then a $3,000 prize pool for the final, the top 8, the ones that made it all the way to the finale. And that means that there's a lot of money in this for the people playing in this tournament today and onward throughout the tournament. And it's a long journey for all these players, but it'll pay off dividends in the end. It should be a lot of fun for us to watch. It should be a lot of fun for you guys to watch. So hopefully we get some good games today. I know we saw a lot of good stuff from EU last week. Tell us a little bit about how EU fared in their endeavors last weekend.
Well, we're going to throw up that graphic right now of who came out on the top 16 for EU. My webcam is blocking it on the VMix view. But we have Viper, Adimastic Cake, Precise Maurice, Chetero, 2D, Simple, and Agzo. And then we also have Blue, Machete, Dobrain, Inframini, Lazar Spagnola, Fozy, Eram, and Venta. So you see a lot of names up there that you recognize, but also a few names that I haven't really seen too much before. Obviously, we've seen your Erams and your Vipers and your Addies and your Cheteros and your Dobrains. Machete is a little bit newer. We've seen that name kind of creep up more and more this year specifically, but like Fozy I'm not super familiar with. 2D I'm not super familiar with. I don't know who Precise Maurice is at all. I've never heard that name ever.
That makes 2 of us, but a lot of these names are recognizable. Like Machete, he started last year, about middle of the year, as this kind of unknown player, but he had a lot of backing in the EU side of things. There were a lot of people in EU who knew about him, but it wasn't through tournament play. Now he's kind of making his way back from a little bit of a dip, I suppose, where he wasn't doing too much throughout winter and I guess right after BCX. But now him coming back, looking really good. I remember seeing some of the stuff that he was doing last weekend was incredibly hype. So I can't wait to see more of him going on into next weekend. But we have NA going on this weekend, of course. We have a different set of big names for you guys today. We've got Noel, we've got Starlight, we've got Boomy, Remy, we've got so many people. Wrench D. I mean, these are the people that we see winning tournaments all the time now, is these NA guys. Not to throw too much shade at the EU boys. A lot of love for them, but every time we see a LAN, it's been NA recently.
Yep, we have 16 pools that will be moving on into your top 64. So you're going to have 4 people moving out from each pool, 2 in the winner's side of the bracket, 2 in the loser's side of the bracket. And if just looking at the pools right now, it's interesting because with 4 people moving out, and this is a little bit of a smaller tournament going into it, you're going to have some, in pretty much every pool, you have like 2 people that are probably guaranteed to move out. But those other 2 spots, those are kind of in high contention right now. Like if we look at the first pool, the big ones to look at are Noel and Bacon. Those are the 2 that I would put some serious money on getting out of this pool. Not only just getting out of the pool, but probably on the winner's side. Aside from that, there's a couple names I recognize in here, but that 3rd and 4th spot are definitely up for contention in that pool. Then in pool A2, obviously the big boys in there are going to be Boomy, and who was the other one? It was Boomy and Feeble Star I would have my money on those 2 to move out. But again, that 3rd and 4th spot completely in contention. Then in pool A3, definitely Issadrew without a doubt. And then even in this one, honestly, that might be one of the easier pools that we have today. My next guess would be Catnip, but at that point it would probably be a pretty big guess. So there's a lot of room for some serious upsets here. What about the rest of the pools?
Oh, looking at A4 right now, we've got let's see, I gotta extend the bracket out actually, and my thing is really my window is really short, but we actually have Daiku, formerly of EU, now in NA. We saw his debut in the Summer Championship actually, where he did pretty all right, I think, making a decent showing in the NA side of things. But, you know, being brand new in the scene, he used to play, of course, in NA back in like closed beta, back when there was really only one server, right? So everyone played on the same thing no matter where you lived. I mean, we had Brazilian players, we had EU players, we had a couple SEA and Australian players all in the same server. But I mean, ping differences do make a difference. But now he's sort of back in NA in a sense. I don't mean like, you know, going to BCX for a LAN. He's done that in the past. Now he's actually playing in the North American region, settling into a new time zone and everything. And so we saw after his debut, this is his 2nd tournament. Maybe he's had more time to adjust. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he comes out of this, but he seems to be the biggest name in pool A4. And then I guess moving a little faster through a little bit some of these, because there's going to be a lot of pools. Pool A5, looking real quick at that, we got Wrench D, you know, the guitar god, got 2nd place at Austin. Pool A6, we've got Blue Guys and Lil Capped, the Bodvar god, the Hammer, the Reckoning, who comes out with the hammer. Pool A7, we got AZR. Are you familiar with AZR at all?
I vaguely remember the name.
He's in a pool with Phazon, who we all know. He's been playing guitars and guns for the longest time, and I think just recently in Summer Champs, he played something a little different, but then ended up swapping to the Lucian pick later on, which I actually really like watching him on. He is one of the few people who actually makes guns look real good. And moving past that, we have Remy in pool A8, and he looks like the only player that I am familiar with other than maybe Jaximus, but I'm not entirely and there's also Hexeract in here as well.
Hexeract and Parallel both in there will probably make the top 4 of this pool. And then moving on into pool A9, we have Kosalix, the DreamHack Austin winner, definitely will be making his way out of this pool. My guess would also be on Ethan and Psyche. I don't know if it's Psyche or if it's Psyche. It's Saike, but that player will most likely be moving on as well. Then in A10, we'll probably see a Pugsy moving on. Definitely see a Stevenator moving on. Maybe might see a Magma Bob moving on, but that 4th spot might be I
hope it's Ezap. There's a name in here, Ezap. I'm gonna give him a quick shout out. He's a local player actually. In Georgia for me, and he actually showed up at a convention not too long ago called MomoCon, where I got to meet him and talk to him for a while. So he's actually a really cool guy. So seeing him in this pool, a quick shout out to him. Hope he does really well. But he does have a pretty tough pool. I mean, Magma Bob, Pugsy, and Stevenator are all going to give him a run for his money. So it's going to be a tough time getting out, but good luck to him.
And then in the next pool, we have a Tropheus, who we've seen for years now, probably making it out. Convict, also probably making out. We've seen him do some work in online tournaments recently. Starlight making it out, probably for sure. And then, that fourth spot is going to be the one that a lot of people will be fighting for and jockeying for. Then the next pool, Baboot and Blood Diamond. And beyond that, probably Mother Russia as well. And beyond that fourth spot again. Then in pool A13, we will probably have Sandstorm and Tiffany moving out. Then that third spot might be Epsilon, but the third and fourth spots will be the one in contention. Then in A14, who knows with LDZ? You saw what happened in Summer Champs where he just DQ'd out, so we don't know if he's going to show up today or not. Beyond LDZ, iThrow will probably have a good showing making it out there. And aside from that, I know the name Baidvar from Twitter, and I think I've probably faced them in ranked. But beyond that, maybe. Who knows? Then in pool A15...
It's always up in the air, especially if LDZ doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Because that's an entire slot that's basically open. If he does show up and we see him really play out, then we'll see him go through, no questions asked. But it's, like you said, it's still up in the air.
Mm-hmm. And then moving on to pool A15, we have Midget and Crocky. Those are going to be the big names in that third and fourth spot going to be open. And then in pool A16, we're definitely going to have Double Dime moving on. And beyond that, I honestly don't know at all.
Well, there is Tybo. Tybo's in there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't see
sort
Tybo
of at the bottom.
him for sure.
He doesn't have a ranked elo or placement next to his name, but he is in this.
Sorry,
bracket.
Tybo. I didn't see your name. I swear I would have put you.
I got you, Tybo.
I swear.
I got you, Tybo. But yeah, Tybo and Double Dime in this bracket, and I don't think anyone else that either one of us are going to recognize right off the bat. But that does conclude all 16 pools with all the top names and our predictions on who we think might make it through to top 128, into top 32, into top 16.
And now we have a game in front of us right here. It was from one of the pools that we mentioned. It is Starlight versus Ski Buster coming in here. Of course, Starlight, one of the few members who are still technically in the Boo Clan, who's been playing pretty well this entire season so far. I know that I've kind of slept on Starlight a little bit, but he's had some solid placings. He's almost been top 15 or so in every tournament he's played this entire year. He's had some second place. He had second place in Spring Fling. Then he had a string of 13th with Spring Champs, Outplayer Dismay, and then 13th at DreamHack Austin. Obviously, he played really well in Summer Champs in twos. And in ones, he ended up coming out 5th, which is a great placement, one of his best ones placements this year. And I mean, he's power ranked 12th in singles right now. So this is definitely a game with a very high level player and a player that we've come to know more and more about with Ski Buster on the other side.
Yep, Ski Buster now, he's got a nice start with the unarmed play, just not really trying to dedicate too much towards that weapon, not wanting to make himself too vulnerable, I guess, on the pickup, but now Starlight trying to get a little bit of a punishment on to the pickup, but Ski Mask coming in, getting carried from side to side from Starlight, a lot of damage getting picked up. Ski Mask looking for a little bit of a retaliation, picking up the scythe, and looking for a little bit of damage, a little bit of air pickup, not going to find it as Starlight tries to reset, throwing a lot of attacks out, and there's the first kill, recovery off the top, Starlight with the cannon. A good showing from both of these players, actually. Ski Mask doing a great job at actually staying even in this game.
Yeah, Ski Buster started it off like he was the one in control, but then Starlight just kind of completely took that away from him. And Cannon is kind of in the right hands, like we've seen with Starlight. Oh my gosh, he can just put out so much oppression. He can get so much momentum, so much control, and just carry his opponent from the left side to the right side. Starlight still hasn't died yet, and he almost has Ski Buster in kill percent.
He can still bring this back a little bit, though. This is going to kill him. Ski Buster is going to be turning it a little bit around, evening up the stocks just a bit. Still behind on the damage quite a bit, but still managing to keep a solid flow onto his playstyle right now, in a manner of speaking.
Skibuster wasn't able to keep Starlight off of a weapon too long. Starlight has the sword in his hand. That's the weapon that he kind of built his name, built his career on in Brawlhalla. You're going to see that side air hitting right there, sending Skibuster over to the right blast zone, taking him out, and now we basically have a full stock lead.
Skibuster now at the Scythe, who saw him do some pretty good stuff with this earlier. I mean, he had Starlight in the red on his first stock, using a little mixture of unarmed and Scythe, but now Starlight looks like he's finding his groove against Skibuster. Some damage coming out from Starlight, some offstage pressure. I'm doing it again. Skibuster trying to find his way back, and it's not looking too good for him right now. Starlight doing a good job at holding this offstage pressure, finding his way back onto stage. Both players do. Weapon from below in the recovery into a side light. Oh, doesn't find the haymaker though. Starlight looking for the finisher. The down air not going to connect with the recovery will on the return, and that is going to do it as Starlight takes game number 1 in the set, giving him the lead. Can Skibuster do it? He's got the diamond. He's got Inception Gaming below his name. Are they going to give him the power to, I don't know, give him what he needs?
That was a pretty convincing victory by Starlight there, and we're seeing a more kind of well-rounded cannon coming out from him. It was at Summer Champs that it was a lot of downlight dare. Like, his cannon was almost one-dimensional. It was effective, don't get me wrong, but in the end, it was still sort of one-dimensional. He was throwing out downlight dare, downlight dare, downlight dare, one after the other. That was one of his main damage options. And then he would use the high force side air, sometimes the recovery to secure his kills. Occasionally, he would throw out a signature, but he was using those high force moves for the kills. Now we're seeing a lot more variation. It's a lot more fleshed out using all of Cannon's moves, and I think that's due in part to some of the buffs that Cannon has received recently in the last 2 patches that weren't available to him during Summer Champs.
Evan Starlight right now trying to utilize his cannon a little bit more, using a lot of neutral airs, trying to prevent Skibuster from coming back down to the ground to get the weapon, but he is going to find it. It's going to be the spear, and Starlight now trying to find his way back and going to get a nice little hit onto Skibuster. Skibuster doing a good job at dancing around Starlight, getting a little bit of damage off with the spear, but still, either way, Starlight has a great hold on the stage, and there's the recovery off the top, and that is going to do stock number 1 for Skibuster in, and Starlight takes the lead.
Now, it was looking like Skibuster's spear was starting to put out some damage, put out some control, but unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to utilize any of the recent buffs that Spear got, specifically the D-Light into the recovery, as a kill option, as a damage option. Ooh. But allowing him to use that, get those kills a little bit earlier, a little bit safer, requiring less of a hard read or anything, giving him an actual combo or string to get it. And it seems like his Scythe is really the shining star here. We haven't seen too much from his spear that was really that successful. He does have it in his hands, so maybe that'll be different, or maybe Starlight is just going to finish this out with another huge lead.
Starlight seems really content to also just be throwing out a lot of attacks, just one after the other, to try to pressure the zones that Skibuster is trying to get into. And Starlight taking another stock off before even losing his first one, just cementing his lead in game number 2. And Skibuster has actually, been adapting slowly to Starlight's play styles. He's been timing some of his dodges quite well with the spot dodges to try to get on top of Starlight, but he hasn't really been finding the punishes correctly in order to retaliate against him. That's where I think the problem has been lying with Skibuster, as Starlight just continues to utilize that ground game, just throwing out the down airs, like we keep seeing here, and just even more strings, trying to carry Skibuster across the stage and off into the distance.
Skibuster is so far behind at this point. Like, he was able to pick up that stock, but I think he's just nervous. Like, he wants to punish all of these attacks that Starlight is throwing out. He's throwing out so many attacks, and so many of them are missing. But because Starlight is so far ahead, he's keeping Skibuster on his toes with that, because any single attack that Skibuster takes is huge in favor of Starlight at this point. So Skibuster can't get reckless with his punishes. He can't maybe go for every single one that he wants to. He can only go for the ones that are super safe and won't get counter punished by Starlight.
Mm-hmm. His movement is actually looking really good right now, and if he can survive a little longer, I can actually taking a stock, but it's not going to happen as Starlight just finds the single side air that he needs to take the game and the set, and to move on, dropping Skibuster down to the lower bracket. And that is going to be game number 1 finishing up here for us today. The start of the tournament, Starlight moving on. Something I guess that we were kind of expecting there.
Yeah, that was a big two stocks in a row from Starlight. Even though Ski Buster is a name that we've known for quite some time now, Starlight is a name that we've known in higher regard for longer. So that's just the disparity between these two players. Of course, Ski Buster can still easily move on and come out of this pool, but Starlight looking like he is going to be probably the strongest player in this pool and one of the strongest in the tournament.
As is, I think we've all come to expect. He's been around the game such a long time now that we've seen him play against all the biggest players, sometimes coming out on top, sometimes dropping down below. But either way, we've seen him in those upper echelons, those top 8s, those top 3s in lands and in online tournaments. So it's kind of, not too big of a surprise to see him move on. But nonetheless, that is what is going to be happening. And we got our next couple of players moving up in the lobby right now, actually.
Yeah, we have Ethan in front of us, and we have JKR 18 Martinez. Now, he's coming out of the Turtle Style clan, and I wonder if he maybe just likes turtles, if that's some dumb thing from an anime, or if he plays slower, or if he plays more defensive.
Is that
I'm curious.
Are they like the rivals to like Wu-Tang in their Tiger Style?
I feel like a turtle versus a tiger is only going to go one way.
I mean, you think that, but think back on the fable, the tortoise and the hare. Like the tortoise beat the hare in the race. So who's to say that a turtle can't beat a tiger at something? Huh?
If it was the tortoise and the tiger, I think it would be a very different story, a very violent story, and one that you would not tell children. Well, I guess there would be no deeper moral.
I mean, maybe there is. Maybe it's just don't mess with the tiger,
Yeah, that would be it. Just don't mess with tigers. But we have Ethan coming in, and that's a name that I've paid more and more attention to. It was like after Dobrain stayed with me, and I think Dobrain played like more than a few games with Ethan when he was streaming from my house. And Ethan's like a really solid player. You'll see that coming out of his Mirage. You'll see some solid tech chasing. You'll see great follow-ups. You'll see the double D-light into the side air. He almost has a clean stock on his hands right now. He's been hit like a single time.
Yep.
And JKR 18 Martinez is already in the red.
I mean, Ethan right now, it looks like he's just practicing some of his combos, some of his strings. Some dodge reads with Scythe. He's trying to, I guess this is more of a warm-up for him. We get the thumbs up from JKR. So, good vibes on his part, I think. I hope. Ethan with the Scythe. He's going to lose it. So now it's, unarmed versus hammer, but JKR throws the hammer away. Finds a little bit of a combo. Nice option select on his part to get a little bit of damage out, but Ethan now back with the Scythe. This is going to be a very difficult position for JKR, especially to get back onto stage with.
Yeah, JKR went in with the unarmed recovery to get himself onto the wall, reset his jumps, but he peeked over just a little bit, and the side signature from Ethan ended up catching him. JKR again on the wall, and Ethan, he's not going 100% full ham on the edge guard. He's just staying on the platform. He knows he's winning the neutral game. That he has the signature options there. He doesn't have to risk anything off stage against gauntlets. He doesn't want to take a nair into a ground pound. Nothing like that. Possibly a gravity cancel neutral signature from those core gauntlets that are insane.
Oh, now JKR's got a little bit of a edge guard going on. He gets the gravity cancel side sig. That's going to push Ethan off to the side, but no retaliation from JKR and no jumps available is going to stuff his recovery possibility. And Ethan now on stage, still 3 stocks up, still looking very good. Can still die to a big hit. Ooh, almost takes the fall right there from the side sig. JKR coming back on the stage, no weapon. Tries to get the haymaker off. The neutral light is going to get a connection, but that's not going to be enough to kill. Another weapon throw, maybe?
Oh, he was expecting Ethan to go high. He was able to pick it up with that neutral signature. That's the one I was talking about, gravity canceling off stage earlier. Even on stage, it bounces you off the stage, takes away some of the speed and momentum that you have going towards that blast zone, but it was still enough to kill. And JKR putting a decent showing so far against a player like Ethan. Like, this is a similar deficit that we saw with Starlight and Ski Buster earlier. So JKR doing a solid job.
He is staying kind of in pace to what I think a lot of people expect. Ethan's a fantastic player, especially with the nice neutral stick though. The gravity cancel. Oh, and he gets a little greedy.
Oh, he gets another one. Let's go, JKR. Yes, he got it.
He cancels in a row, and he evens the stocks up. What just happened? Oh my gosh, 2 huge reads from JKR. Oh my gosh,
awesome.
look at
him. And that's showing such a great thought process from JKR that he knows what he needs to do, and he knows that he's like not in the same caliber of player that Ethan is. And because he knows that, he also knows that Ethan knows that. So Ethan is gonna, once he gets a big lead, Ethan's gonna start to go for more reckless things, start to go for more flashy things, start to go for things that are gonna close this set out faster and faster. And JKR was just waiting for the slip so he could hit that. So he was out mind gaming Ethan.
I'm watching the replay right now. That was crazy. A little bit of shade has to be thrown at Ethan for trying to follow that up when he didn't have any jumps, but the fact that he did that allowed for that play to happen, and that was really good opportunity timing on JKR's part. And we're going to be seeing actually a legend swap from him as well, switching to the CODY. So no more core NSIG plays coming from him, but if we can see a little bit something different, obviously he's got a little bit of a mindset to take advantage of certain moves in the right opportunities. So maybe we see something in this game utilizing sword, utilizing some of the SIGs, maybe a sword down SIG. We don't see that too often, but the possibilities are endless.
I wonder if we're also going to see Ethan maybe avoid those edge guards even more. I mean, he's not going to have the spiking gravity cancel in SIG like he did on the core pick. That'll work in the same way, but we might just see Ethan go for these more calculated plays, still go for the edge guards because he can probably outplay JKR on the edge, but they'll be a little bit more reserved, a little bit more tactical and strategic on the edge guards.
JKR getting a little push onto Ethan off stage, side light, another one. Oh no, that's going to be that slide kick into a uppercut. Oh, another one. Gravity canceled this time. JKR getting a little bit more damage this time. Trying to stay in tow with Ethan. Ethan slowly approaching red. Still has over a stock lead. The down SIG is going to separate that a little bit less. Ethan now with the spear, just timing out the dodge reads. Double down light into side air. A classic combo.
You started to see some of the big kill moves coming out of JKR. You saw like all 3 of the bow signatures coming out, trying to kill Ethan since he is in kill percent at this point. And Ethan was able to punish almost every single one of those. So JKR has to be careful. He knows he isn't going to get those core INSIG moments every single time to end out a stock effectively every single time this game. He's going to have to play a little bit more reserved. He's going to have to play more carefully. He's going to have to play turtle style, if you will.
JKR trying to make the most out of his last stock, but Ethan doing a great job at just holding on to his lead. He's got 3 stocks, all 3 of them right now. JKR trying to figure out a way to get a kill onto Ethan, trying to bring this back to as even as he can make it, but it's not looking too good. Ethan finally taking a big hit, recovery off stage, and the haymaker finally connects for JKR, taking stock number 1 off of Ethan. And he's going to be swapping onto the bow, trying to get a little bit of damage on, but some nice spot dodges from both players to avoid a little bit of damage right now. Ethan not going to be connected by the recovery. And now both players unarmed into weapon pickups, one right after the other. Ethan,
yeah, you saw the weapon spawn on the right, and I was wondering if Martinez was going to be able to keep Ethan weapon starved, but one ended up spawning right at the same time on the left. Ethan was able to pick it up, find the kill with it, and he is going to take that game and the set 2-0. That's big. And like Ethan is a really good player. Like I want to go over his tournament history just a little bit because he has some like reasonably good placings. Like he has a 17th placing, a 17th placing in Spring Fling and Spring Champs. Then in Summer Champs he placed 25th, which isn't the greatest, but if you look at who he lost to, in Spring Fling he lost to Kosalix and Phazon, 2 very high placing players. In Spring Fling he lost to Wrenched and Midget, 2 very high placing players. In summer champs, he lost to Noel and Simba. Of course, Noel is a multi-land winning player, winning multiple lands in a row, of course, taking many online tournaments and lands last year as well. So losing to those highly ranked players, even though he's getting 17th place, means he's just running into the really good players really early in the tournament, which is unfortunate for him, but still a really strong player.
Interesting note about Noel. I don't think there's any player that has nearly the amount of land wins that he has. I think like the next 3 players, if you pull their land wins together, I don't think they have as many as he does still, because he went to so many lands, no matter how big or small they were. He ended up winning like almost every single one that ended up popping up. Like there was one like small land over in Tennessee during, I think the tournament was called Slam, and he ended up beating everyone over there. I think he was the only, no, there were 2 players that ended up going to that, him and one other, I don't remember the name, but it was that kind of thing where he just went to literally every single possible land event that he could. So I think because of that, it's like the next 3 players don't have nearly the amount of land wins that he has, which is kind of a crazy stat.
I would put him up there definitely in 1s, and then in 2s, I would say, but probably actually Boomy has the most. But we have a game right here in front of us. We have Daze and Gooey Gooey Ruru. I know I've heard the name Gooey Gooey Ruru more on like dev streams than anything else, just because I'm used to TWK saying it so well. But Daze is a name that we've known for a reasonable while now. Like he has the CEO Dreamland icon on his account right now, and he's putting in the work on Gooey Gooey Ruru. Almost has him in kill percent. He has him in kill percent now. He was looking for the side signature.
Down sig though, you don't normally see that as a finisher or anything. He's using it as a gap closer to kind of catch Daze off guard, which has worked once, but the second time around was not a connection. So maybe Daze is now expecting that he might be able to throw that out. And now Gooey Gooey Ruri making his way back on the stage. No finishers out from either one of these. Daze is going to miss the follow-up on the side air, and that is going to let Gooey Gooey Ruri just barely get back. The side sig though is going to get the finisher as he finds that connection there. And now Daze with the spear. No kill off the top from Gooey Gooey.
Nice spot dodge, punishes with the sidelight, doesn't pick up the insig, but hits the jump side air, and that is going to be that stock. Gooey Gooey Ruru and Daze are dead even at this point. The weapon spawn's going to come in. Gooey Gooey is going to get it, but he's going to throw it away to pick up the bow. He's going to stay on the bow. Daze is going to get the sword. There's the sidelight coming out. That's been his option so far, is the sidelight and then a chase dodge. Before he followed it up with the insig, I think he was just waiting for the dodge from Daze this time so that he could string him or juggle him in the air with the bow.
Daze doing a decent amount with the unarmed kit right now as he tries to just retaliate against Gooey. And now Daze with the spear play is doing a little bit less than what we saw him start out with. Gooey is doing a great job with this bow play right now, just trying to keep his spacing, catching with the down sig now, almost finding another kill and turning this game around after Daze got the initial momentum start with the first strike kill in the beginning. Now Daze has to figure a way back, and he looks like he's going to be trying it with sword, but Gooey right now, he has the stage advantage. He's got Daze off stage, trying to find his way back, and tried reading that too close, but gets the side air into the weapon throw off stage and turns this game around. Now taking the advantage and the momentum into his favor, and Daze, now he's got the, while we were kind of expecting him to start with a lead here, Gooey finding more of an advantage and possibly being able to find some stock extension out of this second stock is going to give him a lot of room to work with against Daze here, as Daze tries to bring things back from his last one.
Yeah, it was looking like Daze was going to pick up the quick kill like right after that. He does pick up the gravity cancel down sig. It does have enough power behind it to kill off the top and left. Not a lot of damage on Daze's final stock right now. That's the way it's kind of been, is the first player gets the kill, then the other one gets the answer kill, the reply kill very quickly. So it's been pretty much dead even between these two players. Gooey without a weapon right now just completely dashes in. It's a raw unarmed side heavy, picks up the weapon, still holding on to just a little bit of a lead.
Both Daze and Gooey going at it right now, trading blows. Gooey trying to push Daze off onto the side. He does have them in the red, so with a proper signature move that could be a kill opportunity for him. But Days getting a lot of damage right off with the sword, getting a lot of connections and conversions off. But really not able to find enough pressure. The haymaker coming out from Gooey to finish off Days. One wrong input is all it cost him, and that is game number 1. Days taking the fall after a strong start.
Now, I did just get word that it's not Gooey, it's Gee.
Gee?
Gee.
Gigi-ruru?
And if I'm getting that wrong, you can all blame Slosha, because this is straight from him. I'm just doing what I'm told.
I don't know, so... Don't look at me. I'll say Gigi. I'll say Gigi. I'm just trying to figure out what to call him at this point.
There will be no legend swaps for either player coming into this. We have defense on both players, giving them, moving them from 4 defense over to 5 defense, give them a little bit more survivability coming in on Miami Dome.
Days starting out with the weapon pickup, and now Gigi finding a weapon of his own. I still want to call him Gooey because that's what it is, but you know, it is what it is. Call him Gigi. Days, though, with the sword play, getting another small lead, much smaller than last time. It's still pretty even. In fact, it's so even that they've been clashing more often than not from what we've been seeing. Both players like side lighting with swords right into each other and just clashing off. It's kind of interesting because it just shows how even it is between these two. And now Gigi now turning things around, getting the side sig, pushing Days off, just barely finding his upward dodge to touch that wall and get all of his jumps back. Very precarious timing on his part. Gigi now looking at a little bit of stage control as Days has a really tough time finding his way back in onto Gigi. And
he was trying to use that Koji down signal, like you said earlier, as a gap closer. He didn't quite have the spacing perfect. It was so close, though, to hitting that. That probably would have led to the kill. Days was just unarmed for a moment. He does pick up the sword, misses the insig, gets the D-Light side air the other direction. Not going to be enough to kill right now. You're seeing him floating above, possibly looking for an edge guard. He's going to go in with a ground pound. It does the gravity cancel insig of all things when Guy was really high above him. That could have been a really risky play. He maintained control of it, though. The unarmed recovery is just going to come out right before Days was looking for that sword ground pound. Sorry, sword down air that would have been in the sweet spot and would have led to the kill.
Very interesting that he actually decided to use the neutral sig right there off stage, because that actually allowed him to get the wall touch and the reset on all of his jumps, which is if it was intentional, that was a fantastic opportunity from him to throw out the hitboxes and get the wall touch at the same time, just in case Gigi tried to get into a certain zone to try to deny him from that position.
He is starting to possibly run away with this game, putting out a lot of damage on his bow. He's looking for the jump. He's looking for Days to try to get over and around him so he can pick up the insig. Finds the down signature there, almost completely stacked. Ooh, nice turnaround into the side signature. Now, this is a big lead. This is the first, like, real big lead that we've seen. And it's been due a lot in part to Gigi's bow play.
He has been incredibly solid. Like, it was actually what allowed him to come back in game number 1 from Days' lead in the beginning. And now Days using the sword, trying to get a lot of hard reads, throwing out a lot of these signature moves, trying to catch him off. And the down sig, nice opportunity to get that dash in down ground pound off stage to get Gigi off of the bottom there and even this game up as much as he can at the moment. Gigi now with the bow again, though. Still has to be very careful as Days is still sort of behind. Still, momentum could shift at any time. It looks like Days is starting to bring things back. A little bit of damage from the sword, pushing Gigi off, forces his weapon to go away. Just misses the ground pound. That could have been it, too.
He wasn't quite stacked enough. Again, Days was going in with the ground pound. It didn't hit this time. He got down aired by Gigi. Now Guy has the sword. Oh, there's the insig. That's going to close it out. Days is going to take this and even up the set.
It was definitely anyone's game at that point. Both players were about the same life. They were on their last stock. They were both playing very dangerously off onto the edge. And Days being able to pull that out, finding the right opportunity for that final kill is going to be extremely commendable on his part because, well, now he's not launched into the lower bracket. He is still in this the only way he knows how, fighting it out. Game number 2 coming up, or game number 3 coming up.
No legend swap coming out of Days. He's sticking with that Hattori in the defense stance that he was using earlier, but we are seeing a legend switch from Guy. He's keeping the bow that was really successful on CODY earlier, but his swordplay was a little bit lacking, so he's looking for a different weapon. He's looking for a different character, and he's going to land on this Kaya here. The spear is going to give him some different kill options. He's going to have the D-line into the recovery. Of course, he has all of the bow signatures. The spear signatures aren't used quite as much. You do have the down signature if you're trying to whip up some eggs or whipping up a brick in the kitchen. But aside from that, we don't see the neutral signature a lot, and we really don't see the side signature very much at all. It doesn't have a lot of kill potential on it. So I'm hoping to see the similar bow success that we saw, and I'm curious as to what his spear has.
Well, that's the biggest question, because we know basically anyone can play sword, and that's what he was kind of utilizing with the Koji pick when he couldn't find a bow, of course. But now, I guess another thing to look at with this is, the fact that he's still on bow with this character, but the stat line is going to create a much, much bigger difference between the damage that Days can put out and the damage that Gigi is going to be taking because of that 4 to, I think, 8, like 4 attack to 8 defense difference between these two. He's just going to be taking a lot less damage in general.
Yeah, Kaya is definitely a tank. Daze is keeping him on the edge, though, and hits the ground pound, and that's going to be the kill. And before, that's sort of a different edge guard that we've seen. We saw the dash jump ground pound earlier that led to a kill, but before that, his edge guards were really hesitant, and they were really floaty, and they weren't like full commitment. He wasn't fully sending his edge guards, and now we've seen him kind of fully send them twice, and they've both led to a kill. They've just been kind of unexpected on the side of Geek.
Daze trying to play a little bit more carefully right now, trying to avoid some attacks so we can extend the stock out, trying to find his way back, but Gigi finding him with the side air is going to take it down, and that is stock number 1 for him. Stocks evened up pretty close. Gigi trying to get a little bit of damage to start things off, but Daze looking real clean with that unarmed play as well. And that is going to be a hot start for him on this stock number 2.
Hopefully he can take that and run with it. He does have the spear now. He is going to throw his spear away. It's going to end up despawning in the time, and Daze is putting out some serious damage. Back-to-back side airs, putting him into orange right now. A couple more of those will put him into kill percent.
Almost had complete offstage pressure on a Gigi too, just barely missing that last side air. One or, like you said, just 2 more of those, and that probably could have been lights out for Gigi on that stock. But now we have an unusual double spear play that we're going to be seeing from both these players now. Gigi just dash dancing a little bit. Daze trying to play a little bit more calmly, a little bit more collectively, not just trying to throw out the dash dance. Oh, but the double downlight into the side air is going to be catching Daze off guard, throwing him off stage, and now Gigi has a little bit of a stage map control. Finds the side sig. I mean, you said we might not see it too much. The force doesn't like too much on the back end, but it does have a good amount of range that you can use to throw off your opponent, throw them way out into space, and then retake that map control. So a good option select from him on that part.
Final slice of the side air, and there we see the big ground pound coming out from Daze. He's going to go under. You see him playing very defensively, went under the map, and then went to the far left side of that soft platform. He is going to end up falling, and Daze is going to stick with this sword, putting himself between Guy and the weapon spawn, trying to keep him on the wall now. There's the sidelight. More damage coming out from Daze.
A little bit more damage coming out. Retaliation hit from Gigi. It's just back and forth. It's not too much more to say about it. Like, it's really close between these two. One finds the kill, one finds the retaliation. This time in Gigi finding the kill onto Daze, pushing him in the last stock. Both players on their final, though. This is the last argument that they can make in terms of who they think is better at the game right now. Gigi and Daze throwing out their final arguments, making their final points, but unless Gigi can really come out with some hidden facts here, I don't think Gigi's going to have too much more that he can do against Daze to finish out this game.
There's the double down light into the side air. Is he looking for the recovery? Daze is floating above. He's going to do the safe play. He's going to weapon star, but there's going to be an unarmed neutral heavy. He's going to throw his weapon away. Daze is going to pick one up in the meantime. Both players last stock red at this point. Oh, is that going to kill it?
Oh, comes back, gets the kill with side sig of all things to turn that around right at the end. The one last opportunity. If he missed that, he was done. There would have been absolutely no way for him to come out of that because Daze would have had the punish. He was already getting ready to do exactly that. Just find the punish into the kill. It would have just taken a side air. But Gigi Yep.
He threw out those side signatures, and both of them that he threw out both hit. The first one he threw out didn't end up killing, but the second one absolutely did. It won him that game, and he was able to find the spacing of that so well. Even though you don't use it in every situation always, he just showed that in the right situation, it can mean the difference between victory and defeat, and that was a qualifier for the top 64. So Gigi, whatever his name is, he'll be moving on in the top 64 on the winner's side of the bracket. I believe he's going to be facing Daiku next. But before that, we have two players who I'm sure most of you have heard of. You and I, Frone, definitely know who they are. It is Tiffany and Sandstorm.
And I mean, Tiffany, we've seen a lot from Tiffany. First debuting last year, of course, not doing too much too quickly throughout, but slowly making a name for herself. Coming to BCX, of course, and making a fantastic placing, making it pretty far into BCX for what I think a lot of people were expecting, and then immediately following that up in Winter Champs at the beginning of this year, taking down the whole thing in 1v1s. So really making a new name for herself coming through this, and not really showing off any more of the bow play that we saw in the beginning. We've seen a bit more of a transition into guitars from pretty much everyone now, come to think of it, throughout the year because of the power of guitars and how well they've been performing in recent tournaments. But moving into this game, now we have Tiffany and Sandstorm. Tell us a little bit about Sandstorm, what you might know and what you've seen.
Now, Sandstorm really kind of had the breakout performance in Outplayer Dismayed. That was the tournament that he won, where that made everyone kind of step back and go, all right, wait, who the F is Sandstorm? Who is this guy? Why do we not know him? Right before that, though, in Spring Champs, he did end up getting 9th, losing to Lil Capt and Remy, two very well-known players. But before that, in Winter Champs, he ended up getting 33. Like, he lost to Boomy, but he also lost to the Penguin. So that's not a huge big name. So it was really the 9th place finish, and then of course the 1st place finish that was the breakout performance of the year for Sandstorm. Kind of put him on everybody's map. Of course, coming out 7th in Summer Champs, losing to Wrenched and Isidru. So sitting at 22nd on PRs right now, Sandstorm is only getting better as the year goes on.
I don't know how you could say that no one knows who, like Penguin's not a big name. Like, come on, that's like one of the biggest Batman villains right there. Oswald Cobblepot. Like, think about it. Sandstorm probably lost him because, yeah, that's actually his real name.
How do you know that?
Because I know some comic book stuff, you know? Also, Arkham games. Okay. Sandstorm takes stock number 1 from Tiffany, and a strong showing. Stock number 1 making a lot of use out of that first, that scythe pickup, getting a lot of good finishers off with that side sig as well to pick up and get the throw off the top. And now Tiffany trying to make a little bit of retaliation. Sandstorm's not quite in the red just yet. So this is going to be Tiffany's game to bring back at this point.
Of course, Sandstorm coming out with the first Mordex that we've seen, but not the first Scythe we've seen of the tournament so far. Scythe, a very highly coveted weapon right now in terms of overall strength. Not the best, but definitely up there. Then, of course, with the gauntlets as well, going to have a lot of offstage presence. Might be lacking a little bit in the neutral game in terms of range and priority and things like that. But hopefully he can cover that a little bit with the Scythe, with the range of the downlight and the tech chasing opportunities and just the longer range of all the moves in general. But Sandstorm is going to fall. Tiffany evening up the stock, still about 30 to 40 damage behind Sandstorm.
Ooh, huge stuff coming out of Tiffany. Still going. The guitar strings from Tiffany, the dodge reads on a Sandstorm just puts Sandstorm from a nearly fresh stock into pretty much kill percent almost, just barely below it. And Sandstorm finally finding his way out, finding a little bit of retaliation to that, looking for some kind of respite, throwing out a lot of signatures now, but Tiffany looking for a finisher of her own as she goes for that recovery. Not going to find it, but the pickup from that neutral sig from Sandstorm, almost taking Tiffany off the top. Huge play from Tiffany, though.
Decider, is Sandstorm going to have enough in-air movement? You're seeing Tiffany putting herself between the wall and Sandstorm. He's able to turn it around, picks up the recovery. That is going to be the kill. And that is the offstage potential that Scythe can have, is even if Tiffany was able to like dodge through that recovery, if Sandstorm aimed it to the left, it would bounce Tiffany off of the sidewall and back the other direction without refreshing jumps or anything like that. So the way you can turn your opponent around with either the active input that Scythe has or just the general design that Scythe has and the way the force vectors work, you can always turn your opponent around in so many different situations.
Tiffany looking for that weapon pickup. Sandstorm's going to throw out the sider, not going to be able to stop that weapon pickup. The side sig, double side sig throws out, not going to connect either one of those, and Tiffany does find the punish for the kill, and now stocks are all evened up 1-1, and Sandstorm now all alone with no weapon, and Tiffany trying to get a little bit of stop. Does get the weapon throw. It's not going to stop the pickup, however, and now Sandstorm with the scythe, been a very successful weapon for him. And looking for something here. The recovery does catch Tiffany out in the air. The weapon throw not going to really do too much, but Tiffany does find the weapon pickup from that throw. The weapon throw from, Sandstorm looking for a kill off the top of the recovery. Tiffany responds with her own. She still needs a lot more damage on the Sandstorm to get the proper pressure off. But from what we saw before with those dodge reads, the potential is there.
But Sandstorm, beyond that one huge string that we saw from Tiffany, Sandstorm's been dodging pretty darn well the entire time. He's been using his spot dodges preemptively to just last through an attack that's going to land stacked completely on him and then responding with a neutral light or a down light or something like that from both of his weapons. So he's been able to dodge effectively a lot of Tiffany's attacks beyond that one string. They're both basically last stock red at this point. Sandstorm is a little bit ahead of Tiffany in terms of damage. And of course, he has such a strong signature kit on both weapons. That's one of the reasons that people rank Mordex so high, is because the scythe and the gauntlets might lack a little bit in kill potential, especially on stage. That's where you have the signatures coming in, but he's being really careful with it. He knows that both players are last stock red right now.
Tiffany making her way back. She's on her last legs. I don't think she can take much more. The recovery going off, though. Almost going to take the stock off the top. Sandstorm's now stuck on the wall. Tiffany has the opportunity to use the neutral sig, maybe pop him down a little bit, but Sandstorm trying to find his way back, just barely gets tipped by the recovery. It's not going to be enough. The second one is going to do it. That is actually recovery number 3 going to take him off the top. Tiffany taking it back after being down for most of the game, actually, in terms of like momentum, damage, and pretty much everything else except for that one big play that she made. Managing to bring it back, keep it even enough for that pressure in order to finish off that game, and taking game number 1, very impressive on her part.
And you saw how close it was. It was about 54 damage difference done between the two players. So both of them were last stock red at that point. You saw how many recoveries it took to kill him. I'm legitimately surprised. I think the first one, he wasn't quite centered on that recovery coming out from Tiffany, so it didn't have the big force dump that it has on the final hit. But the other two looked like they were pretty much dead on. Maybe it was just a little bit too low for it to kill, or something like that.
The second one looked like it was like she connected it too late, so there wasn't too much force buildup behind it, I guess. It's probably not even how that works, to be honest, but hitting it a little bit later on, it didn't seem like there was enough force behind it because of that late hit.
And now we are coming into Twilight Grove. I think this is the first time that we've seen this map today. I wonder how much usage of the island we're going to see. If some players will like to just kind of camp on the island, try to bait their opponent over so that they can turn it around, send it to the very close blast zone on the right. Or you see on that little small vertical left wall, you'll see people playing off that wall. Or Sandstorm will just get a beautiful string right in the middle of the stage, getting all the reads on Tiffany right now.
Big plays coming out from Sandstorm. Barely having taken any damage in that first stock. A huge huge control and pushing her off the side. What? Sandstorm, you crazy! What did you just do?
We turned it around with the neutral air, and then he hit a side air, and I didn't see what the third hit was. They were so far off screen. I can't believe Sandstorm was able to just continue that. You saw him just continue to attack.
Less than 30 seconds between those two kills. Sandstorm just picks up Tiffany, just drags her off stage, and then kicks her out of bounds. Just like that. No effort? Maybe not, but it looked like it. That's all that matters. It looked effortless, and now Sandstorm has such a lead, and stock extension is just a thing of the past. He hasn't even needed to extend it out too much. Tiffany's just down by that much.
Yeah, he has so much room to play with right now. Oh, man, just all of that dropping.
Oh!
Going with the neutral sink to touch. Okay, I respect that move. I think he was maybe expecting a ground pound coming out from Tiffany to close out that stock. He was maybe expecting the hard focus, the tunnel vision. That was just a desperation attempt. And he wasn't able to find it there. He was trying to come in from the side to interrupt that vertical ground pound. But he was able to still touch the wall in the process. Got under, ended up falling, but he still has a lot of room to play with.
Sandstorm showing that even early matches can be hype. What in the world? Just looking so strong right now. He's got all the momentum. Tiffany's just playing really far back now, trying to avoid some of these connections, some of these conversions from Sandstorm. Because after seeing both times what Sandstorm's been able to convert into combos, into literally kills, this is Sandstorm's game to lose right now. He's got all the potential in the world to finish this up, and Tiffany is slowly bringing this back.
It's been that overspacing so far that's really worked for Tiffany. Sandstorm has been attacking quite a bit without having the spacing just picture perfect. And Tiffany's been right outside of it, gets the dash in. There's the D-Light into the recovery. Tiffany is last stock red, though, and Sandstorm coming in fresh on this final stock. Tiffany putting a lot of space between herself and Sandstorm. And again, you're seeing Sandstorm initiate with the attacks. They get punished, but he's able to find that signature. All it was going to take was one signature there to kill Tiffany. It was that gigantic lead that, even though it shrank in the process, was still enough of a lead to win that game.
Oh my gosh. That's just kind of what you have to expect, though. Like, when you have that big of a lead, and automatically, it's one of the things we talk about is stock extension. Like making sure that you can drag out that damage difference as long as possible. If you're up a stock, you want to get as much mileage as you can out of the stock you're currently in. No matter how many hits that you take, no matter how many hits you can give, you want to be able to drag it out as long as possible to possibly an eventual death before that happens. But that lead came so early on that Sandstorm had barely broken yellow in the beginning after he had taken 2 stocks off of Tiffany. There's just too much for her to have to come back from.
Tiffany's looking to get the lead for herself this time. She was the first one to grab the weapon, kept Sandstorm weapon star for about 25 seconds, which is pretty serious. Tiffany finding the back-to-back neutral lights into the recovery. She has the lead at this point.
Sandstorm looking for a string, trying to pop that dodge out so he can get something going like he did in the last game. The haymaker coming out, though, getting a little bit of separation. Sandstorm chasing down the ground pound. It's number 2, not going to connect in now. Finds his way back up. Tiffany just barely missing the down air, and that was very dangerous for both of these players.
I'm surprised we didn't see a little bit of a faster punish coming out from Tiffany there towards the end. Maybe a ground pound or maybe a dare. After she was able to dodge through the ground pound, she was above Sandstorm. She had the dodge, but we didn't see any full commitment there from Tiffany.
Tiffany now doing a dash across. Sandstorm looking for a little bit more pressure, getting the edge guard game against Tiffany. Finding the connection on the downlight, not the follow-up, however. And now Tiffany having free reign of the main ground of the stage. Sandstorm trying to find his way back. The throw not going to connect, and now Tiffany just holding the air zones. Not really throwing out too much of an attack. Trying to play seemingly a lot more reactively this time around.
There's the D-Light recovery coming out from Tiffany, and it's going to even up the stocks. She is a little bit behind at this point, but when Sandstorm got the lead, she sees the way that he's initiating. He's initiating just with attacks at almost max range. So if she can be just outside of max range, she is in prime punish territory. That's what we saw from her last game, and that's what we see from her doing a little bit better this game. Sandstorm isn't getting the Hail Mary like he did on Twilight on the right side off of the island with that really early kill. So Tiffany's wait and punish game is working a lot more effectively.
Sandstorm losing his weapon, beginning a nice sidelight to push Tiffany away. Tiffany having a little bit more damage, but trying to equalize the difference right now. Sandstorm caught without a weapon. Tiffany has the opportunity to bring this back. And Sandstorm, now at the scythe, he's got the weapon that we've seen so much success with. Trying to get a pickup into something big, and there it is, the neutral sig thrown off top, and that is going to be it for Tiffany's second stock. This is going to be it for her if she takes the fall, dropping into the lower bracket. So this is where all the marbles are on the line for Tiffany right now.
Trying to initiate with the weapon tosses. There's the punish coming out from Tiffany. Nice down air, gets the ground pound, and that might be... Oh, he picks on the neutral signature again! We saw him dip under the stage. I wonder if he did that because he forgot about that big post that keeps you from being able to go under the stage, or if that was him just trying to get under and not have to use his dodge for the weapon toss.
Or just to avoid the possibility of a ground pound edge guard from Tiffany. It's always a risk, something you have to worry about when you're below the stage like that. So maybe hovering below there was that kind of option, knowing that Tiffany would have to approach from down.
Sandstorm still holding on to just this tiny, tiny lead. Almost has Tiffany in kill percent. That side air will do it. He has the dodge from Tiffany. Nice side air.
Tiffany having stage control now, after Sandstorm just lost it, missing the edge guard. And now the scythe coming back into play, looking for the neutral sig finisher off on a neutral light. We're going to see this a couple times, I think. No, the side light going to come out, pushing Tiffany on the side. The down light coming out in 3, 2, 1. No, Tiffany's not going to approach back to stage that soon. But there it is. All right, I almost got the timing. It was so close, but there it is. The down light into the kickoff for the victory. Sandstorm taking it there at the very end. And that is going to do it. Sandstorm moving on. Tiffany taking the fall, going down the lower bracket.
I loved how well placed that was, because the timing of it was a little bit longer than, like, I feel like a normal player would feel comfortable waiting with it, or they would at least throw out like 1 or 2 probing down lights before doing that and then waiting and then doing it. But no, he just straight up stood there and just picture perfect had the right timing on it. Sandstorm with just amazing reaction timing there to pick up that downlight. Of course, he did the active input, not the other direction. He didn't want to send Tiffany towards the middle of the stage. He wanted to send her to that left blast zone with the increased force that version of the scythe downlight has. So great option coming out from him, and Sandstorm is going to take it.
Very convincing fashion after game 2 and 3. Game 1, you know, was pretty even between the two. Tiffany having a little bit of an advantage there at the end, bringing it back, taking the win. Sandstorm having an incredibly convincing game number 2, but then finishing it off very cleanly at the end. Kudos to him, and he's going to be moving on. And now we have, of course, Blood Diamond and Mother Russia facing off against one another. Blood Diamond on the Bodvar, Mother Russia on the signature Hattori, something we've seen him on for years now.
And Blood Diamond is still in the winning DreamHack clan. Of course, there are 3 more DreamHack events this year, so that could be technically true, but I think he said he was winning DreamHack Austin, so maybe he's just kind of rolled that back a little bit and delayed his victory again. Now keep in mind, this is a qualifier match into top 32. Both of these players have made it into top 64, but this will be a qualifier into the top 32 on the winner's side of the bracket. And Mother Russia coming out with definitely an early lead on the Blood Diamond.
Mother Russia trying to get a little bit more damage here, looking for a finisher opportunity. Blood Diamond found weaponless. And the side light is all it's going to take. Right? Yep, there it goes. All right. I got a little worried there. I thought he was going to get a dodge off at the last second, but maybe he used it to stop his momentum going off into the side. Now Mother Russia getting a little bit more pressure onto Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond just barely finding an opportunity to pick up the hammer.
Now, both of these players playing from the West Coast, and at one point, Mother Russia, I mean, LDZ has always been the #1 player on the West Coast, but the second place originally was Mother Russia, and then it kind of switched to Blood Diamond. So I'm curious to see the Mother Russia versus Blood Diamond feud for that kind of second best US West spot.
Blood Diamond finding just a small opportunity to pick up the sword, and now, just barely missing the recovery from the downlight. Just Mother Russia got popped up too low for him to be able to find it there. Does find it later, but you always have to be careful about that platform. You catch someone halfway between that platform and the downlight, and the usual follow-ups are actually not going to be there. You have to be prepared for that kind of thing. And I wonder if that is something that is going to be a little bit telling on Blood Diamond's part, because we have seen him trailing a little bit through against Mother Russia in this match so far. Maybe there's a little bit of rustiness there somewhere. Maybe the known opportunities off certain conversions are just not there, because we're seeing more just muscle memory follow-ups.
Some of Blood Diamond's initiations just aren't effective on Mother Russia right now. Mother Russia's either overspacing them, or he has the timing, so he has the spot dodge into the punish straight away. That down signature was almost so perfectly placed. Blood Diamond actually going to turn around that neutral signature to get it to the left in case Mother Russia jumped or dodged through him. Mother Russia is still going to hold on to this lead, though. You see him juggling those weapons just a little bit to delay the next weapon spawn. Ooh, he hits the double D-light into the side air, throwing the weapon up, keeping Blood Diamond weapon starved.
Oh, but it doesn't matter. The breakdance across the stage, finding him on Mother Russia's recovery back to the stage is going to call it for that second stock on Mother Russia, and evening up a lot more. Blood Diamond finding his form back against Russia right now, and Blood Diamond getting a little bit of a lead, bringing this back. Now he's found a little bit of momentum to bring against this force that Mother Russia has brought from the start. Blood Diamond with the neutral sig trying to find a lot more pressure, using the sig pressure in the force to throw Mother Russia off stage and create an edge guard situation, but not going to find it there. Blood Diamond with the hammer now has the opportunity to just create that off of raw side lights and side sigs or side airs. But Blood Diamond now trying to just control that middle of the stage. Mother Russia turning it around, approaching him very quickly with these dash-in unreactables, and now he's got the stage control for the time being. At least.
Missing there. You see Mother Russia dash just a little bit to the right to get out of the way of Blood Diamond. There's the gravity cancel side signature. We saw Boomy really use that a lot, and I think show people how effective that signature is when gravity canceled right off the edge. There's a side air coming out from Mother Russia. You see him waiting. Blood Diamond goes for the down air to clip that corner. He isn't able to make it, and Mother Russia is going to take game one, but it was so very close.
It was pretty even there between the two throughout the game. I mean, it didn't quite start off that way. Mother Russia had a very strong start, and we were seeing some drops from Blood Diamond early on as well. But the turnaround did make it a lot more even than we expected. We might see, okay, I was going to call the legend swap actually to Hattori, because it's something we've seen Blood Diamond play quite a bit in the past, but the Emorie is also not too surprising. The Katars are very solid weapons, and we've seen Blood Diamond pick them up a lot recently, especially back in Summer Champs when we were seeing the 2v2 when he was playing with Noel and they were doing the double Emorie composition. So this is not too surprising in the slightest, but I gotta say I was expecting the Hattori. It's just what I've seen him on more.
And he also isn't using the standard Emorie skin that he uses. Normally he uses the kindergarten Emorie. I think he uses it in the black color scheme too. So it's interesting with this little departure here in terms of skin usage, because kindergarten Emorie is the best one. Just full stop.
No, there's no question. There is a hierarchy. Maybe you can make a tier list at some point.
Oh
know?
God, no! I just threw it away from me. But the important hierarchy right now is who is the better player in US West. It is dead even between these two. Blood Diamond may have like 5 to 10 more damage on him. Now he has a little bit more, but still so dead even between these two.
Blood Diamond right now trying to get back on the stage. He's being chased down by Mother Russia pretty hard, actually. He's already approaching that kill potential, that red zone of damage. And he's trying to turn it back, put Mother Russia into that exact position, trying to look for a kill to take a little bit of an advantage. Not going to find the ground. And both Mother Russia and Blood Diamond could have found a kill there off side on the stage, but Blood Diamond does find it on stage with the side sig, and that is going to do it for the first stock on Mother Russia. Blood Diamond now looking at a stock extension because there's no way, and he might know this as well, that he's going to be able to hold on to this stock for that long unless he gets a huge play and gets an intense, just constant dodge read string onto Mother Russia, which may or may not happen. It's always a possibility.
I mean, he's able to put out a little bit of damage onto Mother Russia so far. There's that gravity cancel side signature, this time on the spear, whereas last time it was on the sword. So Mother Russia not taking too much damage at all whatsoever. Definitely not anything to be worried about so far in this game. Both players on their second stock. Mother Russia with the spear, dodging right into that neutral signature coming out from Blood Diamond.
Blood Diamond holding the edge, getting the side air, looking for that neutral sig, not going to connect it though, and Mother Russia now turning around, looking for the jump read, but not going to find it as Blood Diamond now punishes that downlight opportunity, but the weapon throw from Mother Russia stopping the recovery, which would have led to a guaranteed kill. And now the weapon throw, if he let that go, that would have bonked him. That could have launched him way down. That might have even led to a kill. Maybe, not completely, but still going to find it off the side air into weapon throw off stage onto Mother Russia, and that is the last stock for him now. Blood Diamond taking a bit more advantage this time around. No weapon throw for Mother Russia to utilize to stop that recovery this time around. And, it looks like Mother Russia now on his last legs this time. And a little bit of a change from what we saw in the game number 1.
Now, Blood Diamond's been using his weapon tosses as the initiation option quite a bit with these guitars onto Mother Russia. But he's done it as a gap closer, but he's also done it when he's like almost stacked with Mother Russia as well. So he's been using it in multiple options. You're seeing him throw it away. That time it doesn't hit. So he's going to be disarmed for just a moment. The weapon spawn coming in, picking up the sword. It's the neutral light. Doesn't get the insig. Tables are turned just a little bit. Mother Russia did have stage control on him, but Mother Russia on the edge again. You see Blood Diamond chasing with the side signature. He doesn't need to do that. He has the win of that game. 563 damage to 341. And Mother Russia took game 1, but Blood Diamond heavy-handedly took game 2.
And I don't know if this is going to be something where we're going to be seeing Mother Russia adapt to what Blood Diamond is bringing to the table, or if this is just Blood Diamond finally finding his footing from where he was in game number 1. We saw a little bit of hesitation, some autopilot play from him in the first match between these two, and then this time around it looked much more thought out, much more methodical, and he was able to see the opportunities where they were rather than just throwing follow-ups out automatically, trying to find an instant read. So this time, if he keeps this up, I can see him taking this down. But Mother Russia, we've seen him play for a long time. We've seen these two go at it in countless tournaments and in countless placings. So to say that these two couldn't bring this back and have one of the closest game 3s that we've ever seen, well, it won't be the closest because it's not a grand finals or anything. You can't go to game 10, but you know what I mean.
And it is starting out extremely close so far. Blood Diamond just a little bit behind. He has the guitars in his hand here. He has Mother Russia on the edge. He did hit the down air, but he didn't find the side air follow-up.
Mother Russia holding the edge. Blood Diamond not able to pick up the weapon again, finding his way back on the stage, and both players not able to connect the proper punishes on those attacks, but Blood Diamond finding a little bit of damage. Mother Russia just getting interrupted in his down stick, trying to catch Blood Diamond out. Would have been a lot of force, but the pickup off of the gravity cancel side sig is going to get Blood Diamond off on the left side, and that is going to be stock number 1.
Mother Russia with the gravity cancel side signature, taking a huge lead so far against Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond throwing his weapon away, but one spawns just in time. It is sword against sword again, and so far, Mother Russia's sword has been better than Blood Diamond. Nice read on the down signature. He turned it around because he knew Mother Russia was going for the dodge through.
Just barely finding his way, tapping the inside of that shenanigan zone. Blood Diamond just dash dancing a little bit, trying to find an opportunity. Almost finds the neutral light follow-up for the kill, but instead gets it off the bottom from the recovery instead. So good options from him. Mother Russia finally losing that first stock on his side of things, but things are still super even. You can see the hesitation coming from both of these players where they don't necessarily immediately want to jump in on each other. They know if they just try to go balls deep, it could go horribly, horribly wrong. So they're just looking for like little minutia, little differences coming from their playstyle that they can take advantage of. And Mother Russia doing a good job right now holding the stage control, but it could just turn around at any moment.
There's the gravity cancel side signature coming out from Mother Russia. You see him probing over the edge with the down light, with the neutral light. He gets the jump side air on the Blood Diamond. You see him favoring the edge. Blood Diamond goes really low on the edge. We didn't see a weapon toss coming out from Mother Russia. Blood Diamond looking to get the lead back into his favor like we saw last game, but again, another gravity cancel side signature coming out from Mother Russia. That has been his kill option so far.
Blood Diamond with everything on the line right now, trying to find something onto Mother Russia, but Mother Russia's been turning the heat up slowly and slowly, and now the temperature might be getting a little too hot. Blood Diamond not able to deal with the pressure coming from him right now, just barely making his way back on the stage, but he's really only able to find like a startup, like a side light or a down light, but really the pressure is on for him because he hasn't been able to find anything terribly meaningful up until that last point. Mother Russia making a little bit of a slip up on his way back to stage, and that is going to cost him his stock, where he could have gone for the tap and then for the retaliation, but rather try to get that neutral air into a dodge back to the wall to get all of his recoveries back, and one stock to one stock. But Blood Diamond,
Mother
with
Russia's
the
gotta
double.
be careful here. Blood Diamond goes for the full commitment on the left side as Mother Russia goes under the stage. You saw the weapon toss going down. That actually, the weapon toss alone might have killed Blood Diamond. Mother Russia has to be careful. He's getting into the orange now, takes an insig. He's about in kill percent. Ooh, Blood Diamond going big with that fully charged side signature all the way off the edge. Ooh, the recovery not going to kill. The weapon toss down, trying to give Blood Diamond a safe landing. There's the down air. It's going to be the dash into the neutral heavy for Blood Diamond to take that.
Clean up of the century. Oh my gosh.
I gotta watch that.
Really brought that back. For a second, I actually didn't think he was going to be able to do it. Mother Russia had such a lead in that last stock. He had Blood Diamond off stage in an edge guard almost the whole time. And Blood Diamond managed to bring it back very carefully, in a way where he kind of slipped that momentum back under the table, where Mother Russia didn't really realize what was going on. And coming back, finishing it off with that slide uppercut is big for him, and moving on. That was a crazy game. That was a crazy game.
And it's funny because a lot of people in chat were expecting Blood Diamond to win. I think like Informini came in and said, wait, is Mother Russia beating Blood Diamond? Like, I don't understand what's going on. So yeah, I don't know if Mother Russia's just gotten better, or if today might be a little bit of a rough spot for Blood Diamond. Maybe he's in a dry spell right now, or maybe Mother Russia is just nutty, man. I know they played on US West servers, so they weren't dealing with any ping difference or anything like that. They were able to switch the server over to US West, since both of those players are located over there. But yeah, that was kind of awesome from both players to bring it down to last stock red.
Mm-hmm. And even then, it was close between the two, but the option select from Blood Diamond just taking it down right at the end was a big play from him. But we do have the next game coming up very quickly as a follow-up to the last one. We got Tybo facing off against... did you manage to see it?
Yeah, it's Double Dime.
Okay, I didn't actually see that.
Okay.
But Tybo and Double Dime facing off. Tybo, of course, a classic player, and Double Dime, one of the Canadian players that's been making a much bigger name for himself recently. doing real well in DreamHack Austin, of course.
And keep in mind, this is a qualifier match for the winner's side of Top 32. Winners of Top 32 is almost completely fleshed out at this point. If you hit exclamation point bracket in chat, you will be able to peep the bracket for yourself so you can follow along for your favorite players. But if your favorite players are Double Dime or Tybo, then pay attention to the match that's right on your screen right now. That's the egg beater where Double Dime is whipping up a brick in the kitchen, wrist twisting like it's stir fry.
Now I'm hungry. And I just ate before this. Double Time, though. Trying to find his way back. Tybo turning things around a little bit, finding a little bit of damage to bring this back. Trying to hold that egg beater down again, but not going to find anything this time. As Tybo making his way back, looking for a little bit of a ghosty play there with the signature. Throwing up the spirit to try to catch him out of the sky, but is not what's going to happen. He's actually going to lose out on the weapons, and it's going to be a double unarmed. That weapon spawned really high, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they could spawn that high into the stage.
Which is interesting because the original spawn, like the very first weapon, is actually insanely low compared to other maps. So we do have two legends that have kind of lower than average force. So we could see a little bit later than normal kills, but we're also on Brawlhaven, which is a really small map. So even though they're a little bit earlier than normal kills, it'll still be late in the long run comparing these two characters with a low force.
All right, Double Time finding the uppercut kill onto Tybo, and that's going to even up the stocks, and the damage is pretty close as well. So you can kind of tell that this is a real back and forth between these two players. Tybo now picking up the sword. Double Dime just getting caught off the top from the recovery as well, almost getting taken out run in a really, really early kind of expected play from Tybo. It's something he's done since the beginning, was make a name for himself by getting kills off the top. I mean, Tybo combos were ones that you just pick someone up and then you kill them off the top 0 to death. So seeing him know the timings and the positioning to get those kind of plays is not surprising in the list.
Double Dime is at a little bit of a damage deficit right now. He is in kill percent at this moment. Ooh, he went for the unarmed side air is what Tybo was looking for that kill option. Double Dime was just below him. He expected a little bit of a higher recovery, but it's going to be that down signature all the way over the edge. That's actually probably one of Jiro's strongest signatures. I know when Dobrain played Jiro, he was using that a lot over the edge. Like you would see him just constantly throw that out when his opponent was on the wall, using that as his probing option.
Tybo making his way across, keeping a nice momentum lead against Double Dime right now, playing very carefully and calmly. Like in the face of the side sig from Double Dime, he just kind of stood there and just waited for him to finish out so he could get an easy punish. Trying to get a read as well onto Double Dime, one of the few players who actually throws out a lot of read move. Double Dime gonna take advantage of that miss though, that neutral sig just whiff, and that is going to be a stock gone off of Tybo, but Double Dime still back a little bit, down about what, 80 or so damage, maybe a
Probably
little bit more
about 65
now.
to 70 here. There's the D-Light into the side air. Ooh, trying to throw that right over the edge. Follows it up with the neutral light as Tybo is just rising up a little bit for maybe a punish attempt there. There's the down signature using that huge range that it has.
Nice side light or side air from Double Dime, just to disrupt a little bit. Tybo getting knocked away, holding down, but able to get the recovery from below, catching him very far away. And Double Dime trying to still use that egg beater, but I think it's a little bit past its prime at this point. You know, you can't really throw it out all too much, or you're gonna get punished. And Tybo's been finding the punishes on almost every single one of those since the start, and finding the win off of that is not very surprising, to be honest.
And it's about 36 to 40 damage difference between these two players. So an extremely close game, especially when you consider both players having lower force on average in their character choices. But Double Dime is actually going to switch over to the Sidra pick while Tybo is staying on the Jiro.
That is unexpected. Someone brought it up in chat that it's kind of surprising to see Double Dime not play Axe right now. And I've got to agree. The last pick was interesting, but I was at least thinking, he's going to switch to, something like Ragnar. There's something more familiar after game number 1, because you got, it was close, but Tybo managed to take some pretty big momentum leads against Double Dime at a lot of points. And look at this, many attacks.
He has it in his hands right now. He has Double Dime all the way about halfway through orange at this point. He's looking at kill percent possibly soon if he keeps this pace up.
So this is an interesting pick from Double Dime. I'm not used to seeing him play cannon, but if this is something he's had in the works for a while, I'm interested to see how it works for him.
I didn't get a chance to notice what level his Sidra is, so maybe I'll be able to see that after this game is over. But both players, despite the early lead that Tybo had, both players are in red at this point. There's a sidelight coming out from Tybo. Tried to pick up the dare, but it gets interrupted by Double Dime's recovery. There's the weapon toss. Back-to-back weapon tosses from both players. It's going to be the side sig versus the side sig, and it's going to be Double Dimes with the long range, finding that dare, and that's going to be the kill. Double Dime taking the lead here, looking like this Sidra pick is working.
Ooh. Weird throw from Double Dime, trying to anti-edge guard Tybo, but Tybo finding the down air, trying to disrupt Double Dime, throw him off the stage and make him lose that first stock. Side sig is going to do it, and Tybo now just trying to juggle some weapons real quick to delay the next weapon spawn, Double Dime just trying to survive at this point. He is going to be finding the cannon.
Double Dime being very careful. There's the downlight into the dare that we saw a lot from Starlight. Nice dodge through into the turnaround Sair. Trying to control that airspace as much as he can with that neutral signature. That was something we saw from Dobrain a lot, like right when people actually started playing Sidra in tournaments.
I mean, the first time we saw it really, I think, was Dobrain a week before Starlight got to show his version off. And They had actually very different versions of it. Dobrain's version was a lot of side airs with cannon, a lot of neutral sig cannonballs in order to try to disrupt and force that aerial coverage. So we're seeing a very different play from Double Dime, even in comparison to just Starlight, who uses that cannon for mostly ground coverage and pickup.
And speaking of pickups, there is a weapon pickup on stage, but it looks like both players want to stick with the ones that they currently have in their hands. Double Dime on the sword and Tybo on the scythe. There's the sidelight. Double Dime going to go for the weapon toss. Oh, okay, that's an interesting option. And he went over for the weapon spawn, and it had despawned off screen.
Oops. I feel like someone could make a video or something where he goes over and looks for the freeze frames when it's gone, and just the Seinfeld theme starts playing. But anyway, Double Dime now playing the cannon, trying to find some side airs, some down airs, trying to get a little bit of damage started on Tybo, but Tybo more than happy to chase off at the top of the screen, looking for a little bit of a damage, maybe a finish with the neutral sig. Oh, that's going to be a huge play from him to secure that kill off stage, and now Double Dime on his last stock, unable to really extend that second stock out too much. He's going to have to make this one work out with Jala and extend it into the second, into a game 3. Otherwise, that's going to be it for him.
Double Dime doing a great job putting out the damage. He almost has Tybo into kill percent right now. Hit by hit, he's getting closer and closer. That weapon spawn down is going to be interrupted by Tybo's downlight. That means the weapon is going to despawn in the time, but one comes in right for Double Dime at the perfect time and the perfect place to give him this cannon, this high force cannon. He is going to throw it away, but another weapon spawn will come in the middle. Tybo finding the signature. He has Double Dime on the edge, and the ground pound is going to secure it, and Tybo is going to take that set 2-0 against Double Dime.
A very good showing from this Jala. He did have a nice lead in the first 2 stocks, but in the end, you got to keep yourself together. You got to be able to utilize every single thing in the kit, and it didn't look like he had the cannon down completely. He had a good bit of aspect usage from that cannon, where you use the ground advantage, where you spam out those downlight down airs to try to create some ground pressure. But he stood more on the side of the sword, where he was just, kind of playing a sword game. And the signatures on Jala might be pretty good in terms of sword usage. I mean, especially the down sig that has a lot of range and kind of hits in a very unusual way compared to a lot of these other signatures in the game. But in the end, I think you got to use a lot more of that cannon and get a lot more of that force out, especially against someone like Taibo, who's been using a lot of those side sigs to catch out at a long distance. We can use that aerial play. There's just a little bit missing there that I think with a little bit of refinement, I think could have been really good.
Now, speaking of something that might need a little bit of refinement, I'm curious as to what Remy is going to be able to do with this Ada pick. Of course, Ada is, I think she's the top character on Boomy's tier list. Yeah, she is #1 on Boomy's tier list right now in terms of overall character. After Gun has been getting some buffs, actually, it's not Remy at all. It's LDZ. Never mind. I don't know why Remy was in the room.
What was that about?
Look, man, your guess is as good as mine. But it is LDZ versus iThrow, so it looks like we're not going to see the same thing this time that we did in Summer Champs from LDZ in ones, where he didn't show up for check-ins. And you saw him hover on the Diana pick, of course, with guns that have been getting some reasonable buffs for quite some time now. The buff to the side air damage is fantastic. The buff to the gun downlight, starting up now in 8 frames, is like absolutely unreal. That makes gravity cancel downlight such a great option. It makes downlight into the recovery a great option for damage and for the kill. And then on the other side, we have iThrow kind of going through his cast of characters. He went into the game with Remy on the core, but then we saw him lock in the Bodvar, who we've kind of seen him play forever. I don't know what iThrow's doing, man.
Changing skins. So, it's something else that's pretty important. It's all about that mindset, having the right skin, the right color. If you're out of your element, even in the skin game, it can throw you off. Not too much, of course, but it can throw you off. It's that mentality. But now we have iThrow versus LDZ, not Remy, and LDZ on the Diana, something I think we've seen him on a few times in the past.
Yeah, we've definitely seen him on Diana in the past. He has the gun carryover from the Lucian that he has won world championships with. He has the bow carryover from the CODY that we've seen him win world championships with. So these are just two... guns are definitely really strong right now. Bow... reasonably strong as well. Like, it's definitely not bad. There are better weapons, but it's definitely not bad by any means. We've seen what LDZ can do off stage with bow, in the neutral game with bow, off stage with guns, in the neutral game with guns. I love a Diana pick. I've always loved a Diana pick. Boomy's done really well with it. Dobrain has done really well with it, and we've seen LDZ do really well with it in the past as well. So I'm curious what we will see from him today, because we haven't seen much from him this year.
It's a rare opportunity that we do get to see LDZ actually come out to a tournament. We sort of saw him in Summer Champs, not in 1v1s as much, but 2v2. We did get to see him play in a little bit of a different setting. So this is going to be 1v1s this time around. We'll get to see how he fares overall coming back into the 1v1 scene.
And I don't think
not
he's
really
actually
having seen him
entered a singles tournament this year after Spring Fling. Like, he got 5th in Winter Champs and he got 17th in Spring Fling. But other than that, we haven't actually seen him, I think, finish a singles tournament all year.
Watching him now against iThrow. iThrow trying to get a little bit of damage and gotten a fair bit already with the hammer. I mean, the hammer is pretty devastating on its own. A nice down throw and neutral air combo into neutral air. Ooh, okay, double time. That's a... I see what he's going for right now. LDZ now getting a little bit of a... getting pressured quite a bit from iThrow. iThrow looking really good with the hammer right now. Oh, LDZ ground pounding, I think on accident off stage.
I thought that was straight up an SD. Like, I thought he was done. I should have thought he was throwing in the towel for this game.
In that case, I kind of hope it was an accident.
Yikes.
iThrow really putting the pressure on, though. And this is
there's another Sultan coming out from him. He did kill with the down air, which doesn't have a lot of force on it. Definitely not a lot of fixed force, not a lot of variable force. So it takes a lot to kill with the down air, especially like that one jump height up, like right where that soft platform is. And he is just continuing putting out the punishment onto LDZ, just controlling everything right now. Almost picked up that recovery.
Oh,
there's another down air.
Picked him up out of the recovery this time. iThro's just, oh my gosh.
What's going on?
3 stock from iThro. LDZ just not really able to find anything. He put iThro into, you know, that red zone, that kill potential, but that was the extent of it. We didn't really see much more.
And
Some
we're
decent
seeing,
like combo pickups, but nothing like really meaningful came out. No heavy connections, no kill, no edge guarding.
we're seeing no character swap coming out from LDZ whatsoever. Same map, same characters. Hopefully, if you're LDZ, not the same result. But if you're iThro, you definitely want the same result.
Ooh, this is looking a lot better this time around. Already a little bit of a lead from LDZ, and his movement is a lot more refined, it seems, this time around. But then again, iThro, we don't see him on a hammer right now like we did like almost the entire last game. We see him on sword, something we've seen him super successful with since last year. And I remember it's part of the reason why he won Combo Breaker last year as well. LDZ doing a much better job this time around, already getting iThro pretty much farther than he was last time at this point.
A lot of LDZ's neutral game, though, is just getting completely stuffed, specifically by iThro's neutral lights. Like, LDZ's been going for a lot of spot dodges, a lot of gravity cancels, using that spot dodge, and iThro's been throwing out a sword neutral light on almost every single one of those, and the active frames have been outlasting LDZ's iframes almost every single time. See, there's a spot dodge that gets punished because LDZ downlights the wrong way.
Oh, weapon throw not going to connect. iThro getting the side air to the face. That is going to do it. LDZ does find a kill this time around. It's a lot closer between these two. LDZ not looking as bad as he did in the first game. For sure. Like, I don't know if he had to like really wake up into this, but
this is a qualifier onto the winner's side of top 32. The loser will be going down to face, I'm not sure.
Not sure from Idiocracy?
Never seen that movie.
You've never seen that movie?
Nope.
It's pretty decent. It's hard to watch though. It's
I
too
tell you
real.
what, last game was actually really hard to watch. Seeing LDZ get completely 3-stock, the 2-time back-to-back BCX champion.
I mean, if it's any indication, no matter the results of this, if LDZ does make it to BCX, we'll see the showing of his life again, because that seems to be what happens. He's mostly AFK for the entire season, and then shows up to BCX with another notch on his belt.
Seeing iThro looking for these swings, these big hammer hits. Finding a nice 3-hit, 4-hit, 5-hit, back-to-back-to-back neutral airs.
Woo! Nice read from LDZ to pick that neutral swing up off the side light. Something I don't think I see too many people go for, but then again, we don't see too many people play Diana either. So iThro looking to finish this off, looking for a recovery, but LDZ could bring this back. He does have 2 stocks off of iThro, needing to find a weapon, but the side air going to prevent that from happening maybe? No, the weapon throw not going to connect, and iThro just holding that edge guard. Maybe a side sig going to come out if he goes too high. No, the jump neutral air.
Ooh.
The down scoop.
So his option there, he did the stomp, but LDZ was so close to him that if he tried to go for a side air, he would have had to do it to the right, and I don't think it would have hit LDZ, because I think he was too stacked for it to actually hit. So he went for the stomp down air. Of course, the down air scooping behind you first. So LDZ was actually behind him since he was facing left. So he went for the stomp into the down air, scooping behind him and sending him straight up off the top. iThro just completely 2-0ing LDZ, the world champion. Of course, LDZ in an online tournament and LDZ in an offline tournament are two very different people.
For sure. I mean, it is a stark difference between both of those LDZs. LDZ in LAN, LDZ in online, very, very, very different people, very different situations. And like I was saying before, I mean, if we see him at BCX this year, we'll probably see him in top performance again. So we'll see how it goes moving forward. And it's not like he's out just yet anyway. So we could see him again.
Of course. But right now we will be seeing Boomy and Crocky. Of course, Boomy, I think a newly free agent player. Crocky coming in under T2 Esports. Their power rankings right now, Boomy coming in at second in North America on singles. Crocky coming in at 17th in North America in singles. Now, last time these two players played, I think was an Outplayer Dismay. Boomy winning that set, sending Crocky down into the losers bracket. And I don't think Crocky has ever beaten Boomy. Definitely not this year in a singles tournament.
I don't think so. I think there have been some that have been close, but I think Boomy's won every single time. Crocky, though, it's a spear v spear matchup. Boomy utilizing the Ada matchup. A pick that we actually saw Crocky start on for quite a while after his initial Blution pick during closed beta, which, I mean, this is a long time ago. I remember when he started playing. But Boomy now with the Ada pick, utilizing the gun, something we've seen him use in the past on picks like Diana. Crocky trying to take advantage of the weapon throws, but it is not going to be too successful as Boomy finds the kill. It's just, doing what Ada does. Throw an outside
That's
six.
Interesting to not see Crocky on the Ada pick here. Of course, Boomy is the one who made the tier list that put Ada in first as the strongest character in the game right now. And Crocky's opinion may be different on that, but I'm a little bit surprised. Guns are really strong right now. Spear is really strong right now. Ada being very strong because she also has great signature options. While she does lack a little bit of defense, you can use the defense stance, bringing her defense up just a little bit into a more acceptable range. But aside from that, great damage options, great kill options on both weapons, pretty solid signature options as well. So Ada is just a really strong pick so far. And I don't think the Ada pick from Remy is a troll pick either. I think he's probably going to play some Ada today. That's why we see Boomy playing Ada today as well. But Crocky is coming in with this Nash that he has spent some serious time with recently. And of course, someone in chat reminded me that this is Crocky's first tournament on 144 hertz.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that he ended up getting pneumonic. So him playing a little differently, maybe not quite used to how things control compared to how he was before. If he was used to any amount of input lag, even on a small level comparatively, I mean, it could be different, like knowing those button timings. But all things considered, this character pick from Crocky, not playing Ada, he's always going to have it in the back pocket. But this Nash pick does allow him to use hammer and really high strength in comparison to Boomy's defense to deal a lot of damage and get a lot of force out of that hammer play. And the it's not gonna finish him off, but the down air at the bottom of the stage, very good opportunistic pick from Crocky to try to take Boomy out there. Recovery is gonna do it,
and he's staying really even with Boomy so far. He has just a little bit more damage on his final stock. He was able to pick up that beautiful unarmed recovery to take Boomy off the top. Before that, he went for the weapon toss down into trying to catch Boomy on the bounce with his unarmed recovery. That one ended up missing. Boomy got the dodge in time, but he was able to follow it up with the unarmed recovery, not take too much more damage in the process, except he is getting closer and closer to orange.
Crocky doing a pretty decent job holding unarmed. Actually dealing quite a bit of damage and pushing Boomy to be a lot closer in terms of damage disparity. Crocky going for a lot of weapon throws, though, and I think Boomy's been pretty much ready for those now that he's thrown, I think, what was it, like 16 to 20 or so down throws with that spear, trying to catch Boomy off guard to follow up into a neutral air, and Boomy just jumped up, followed it up. Like, he just jumped up and just waited for the throw to punish.
And I don't think y'all were able to see on the stream, but Boomy locked in Hattori and then Crocky locked in Ada. So then Boomy locked in Ada and Crocky went back to Nash. So nice little ring around the rosy there of what characters they wanted to play. I think Boomy wanted the Ada Dittos, but Boomy is higher seed going into this, so he has to pick first. Or no. I actually don't remember the ruling on who has to pick first.
I think in game 1 it's based off of seeding, and then it's based off of who won the last game.
Okay.
And since Boomy won game number 1, he has to technically pick first.
Okay. But yeah, I think Crocky definitely doesn't want to go on the Ada Dittos, except Boomy does want to.
All honesty, the Nash pick is working out pretty decently for Crocky against Boomy right now. The strength difference gives him a lot of damage, so he can miss a few attacks as long as he lands like a certain few and gets a lot of force behind, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 signature moves. He can really take advantage of that against Boomy's low defense and just kind of ride that into a much more even set. That being said, he does have to land more than just weapon throws right now.
He's looking for the recovery to kill Crocky, probably off the top of this map. Nice, gets a falling side air there, putting out a little bit more damage. He tried to get another falling side air. See Boomy trying to be very careful. Ooh, Crocky going with the ground pound right on stage. It's not going to kill.
It's close, though. Both of these players deep in the red. Crocky finally getting caught by the side sig. And that is actually one of my favorite signatures in the game. I'm actually a Ada player at heart, and those side sigs are just clean. Side sig for days. Anyway, Boomy now coming back on the stage with the guns. Getting a little bit of damage onto Crocky, and as long as he can stay, keep his spacing just right, he can dance around Crocky all day with the range on those guns and just continue getting a little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there, but Crocky is going to be finding it as Boomy loses his weapon. The recovery unarmed from Crocky is going to be finding that kill off onto the top, and it's up to Crocky now to find the damage difference and close that gap. I would rather him use Hammer for that. One like aerial attack from Hammer can be 20-25 damage, which can be huge against Ada. Like that can turn into like a 27-28 damage possibly, or maybe not that far of a difference, but still, Crocky getting taken out on the right from Boomy, and 1 stock left on his part before potentially getting locked down into the lower bracket.
Now Boomy's staring at a pretty sizable lead right now. He has Crocky unarmed. There's the weapon toss. Crocky's able to pick up the hammer. Weapon toss is back and forth between both players. There's another one coming out from Crocky. He was looking for maybe the down air pickup, but Boomy is just still finding this damage. There's the side air coming out from Crocky, and that ground pound is definitely going to throw away that stock. Not sure what he was looking for there.
Either way, that is 2-0. Boomy against Crocky. Boomy moving on to, what is that, top 16 now? I think that's, yeah, he's the first to qualify for top 16.
Yes,
yep.
So that will be qualifying his spot for the Swiss bracket going into next week, and also solidifying him in the spot that will be starting tomorrow. Tomorrow will be top 16 all the way up to the finish of the tournament. So Boomy is, I think, just going to be chilling for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I think he's done. That, because like you said, top 16 does start tomorrow, and that moves into the end of the tournament, of course. So these, for the winners bracket people, these are going to be the last few games for those who win. For the rest of them, they have quite a bit more to go, as they have to go through losers round 2, then losers round 3 to qualify into lower bracket top 16. Because then losers round 3 moving into losers round 4. Losers round 4 is going to be what is that? All the people losing in... No, that's losers round 2. Maybe I'm missing something here, but that is where we're at right now. Maybe losers round 3, top 16. Yeah, okay. I got confirmation. It's losers round 3 that's top 16. I was thinking 1 game ahead, but that didn't make any sense because there's no one to drop down from winner's side. Either way, we got it like that. And it's Stevenator versus Phazon coming up right now. Tell us a little bit about...
Crocky will have the chance to move on through the losers bracket, so that might not be the final time we've seen him this weekend. But we have Phazon and we have Stevenator in front of us right now. I think Phazon has had a little bit more luck in online tournaments compared to Steve, but Steve has had some more luck on LAN compared to Phazon. Phazon's had 9th placing, 7th placing, 5th, 7th, and then his best placing so far this year in ones was 2nd place at Summer Champs, losing to Wilson, who ended up taking that tournament. Meanwhile, Stevenator has had 13th, 9th, 7th, 3rd, and 4th. Of course, the 3rd and 4th starting off this year. So Stevenator started off this year strong, has fallen a little bit, but still not too much, has definitely had some solid placing.
I think he's a little bit of a handicap right now. Just got a new graphics card that kind of screwed up his computer, and I think he's actually playing at his brother's place right now. So
yes,
that's the only way he's able to actually play today. So hopefully that's not going to mess him up too much, throw him out of a rhythm that he might be otherwise used to. But right off the bat, having a little bit of trouble versus Phazon. Phazon holding that sword play, and the retaliation from Steve to get back on the stage. Very good opportunity pick from him, but just missing the gravity cancel downlight is going to cost him as Phazon just gets the quick recovery kill off the top, and that is going to be the first stock gone.
Now Phazon coming in with the slight lead so far. Steve almost has him in kill percent. There's a nice punish coming out from Phazon with the D-light onto the side air. Steve starting to throw out maybe some desperation signatures so far. You see him backing up. He's completely retreating to the other side of the stage before pushing forward a little bit, starting that off with the downlight, finishing it up with the weapon toss. And Phazon is going to fall, but he's still holding on to this tiny, tiny lead against Stevenator so far. Both these players relatively equal ranks in North America singles power rankings. Phazon is 7th, and Steve is 11th.
Steve doing a good job at getting a little bit of damage on the Phazon, trying to keep the spacing with those signature moves. The down sig allows him to just back up a little, try to bait Phazon into something and pick him up and convert possibly into combo string, something along those lines. But the weapon throw, ooh, a nice little maybe intentional, maybe unintentional combo, just a happenstance weapon throw comboing off of the side light. So nice little combo game there. Phazon, though, pushing Steve off onto the left side and creating a disparity. The edge guard going to be successful. The down, the down air from Phazon, confirming that kill onto Steve, and now Steve on his last stock.
And Phazon is just completely controlling every aspect of this game so far. He's definitely putting out way more damage than Steve. Phazon's punishment on Steve's whiffed moves is just completely way better than the opposite. Steve is just not punishing very many things that Phazon's throwing out. Just barely getting the punish there, but it's like the back side of the sidelight, so it's not any huge damage that he's able to convert off of that whiff down signature coming out from Phazon.
Steve trying to make an approach, trying to make a showing out of this last stock. Really trying to extend it out as long as possible, but he is in the red, so that recovery, I'm actually surprised that recovery didn't kill him. And the side sig did not pick Phazon up, so Phazon got the free recovery kill, or the free and neutral sig into Stevenator, and that is going to be game number 1, 2 stocks to 0.
And a huge damage deficit between the two players. Phazon putting out 590 compared to the 324 that Steve was able to put out. It looks like Phazon has already selected his character. We're waiting on Steve. We've seen Steve switch through a lot of different characters, but it's going to be that core that we've known him for quite some time now. That core will always kind of make a return every now and then when he needs it. Of course, he has the gauntlets that are coming over from the Val pick. Gauntlets are something that Steven has played for a very long time. And of course, the hammer harkening back to the days when he and everyone else played only Bodvar.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was like most every single person in the game at that point, which kind of weird to think about now. I mean, before Bodvar was Hattori, because Hattori was like the only character who actually had like really fast attacks because of how dexterity used to work way back in the day. But now the game is super different, so I mean, that's not really too relevant overall.
And here we're going to a map with more soft platforms. I wonder if we're going to see some ledge canceling coming in. I wonder if we're going to see the fight maybe focused a little bit more towards the center area, with those soft platforms maybe being a soft boundary that everyone's playing inside.
Faison doing a bunch of little short hops on stage, trying to outspace and stay away from some of these dash-in sidelights from Steve. But Steve managing to pick up a lot of damage on the Faison this time around and getting the finisher with the neutral seg off of a down light pickup, a stomp pickup, and that is going to be Steve taking the advantage this game in game number 2 in a very stark difference from game number 1.
Now, Steve's gauntlets were struggling a lot last game. His sword was as well, but it looks like he's finding more openings with hammer now, so maybe he's going to rely on the hammer against Faison, or Faison's going to take him right off the top. Steve was playing just a little bit too floaty all the way off the screen, and Faison just completely capitalized on it.
That is painful to watch. Getting caught up there that high. I don't think the ceiling on this map is actually very high compared to some of the other ones that we've seen, like Mammoth or Thunder Guard, where there's a lot of airspace to work with. Steve getting caught up right above that middle platform. It's pretty close to the kill box, so Faison did a good job finding that opportunity, but still, Steve's got to be very careful about jumping up that high.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that he opted to go that high. It's not like he was in red and a neutral air from a sword sent him that high. Like, that was completely of his own choosing to go that high. So that's a little bit insane coming out from Steve, and Faison was able to capitalize off that moment, and he might be, and he does. He takes the second stock, giving himself another huge lead against Steve.
Steve unarmed now, finding the hammer. We saw a lot of success from the hammer in this first stock in this game, so hopefully he sticks to this and tries to find something that works. But Faison right now is just way too oppressive with the spear, and Steve, I don't know, he's losing a lot of ground, not able to find a lot of movement options or follow-ups from some of these attacks that we normally see a lot of success out of.
Yeah, Steve has just been struggling to find even a single hit since he spawned on this last stock. He's maybe hit a downlight and that side light, and I think that's literally it.
Oh, that was delayed. You saw it. I knew as soon as he found that pop-up that he wanted to hit Faison with it, but I don't know if there was a delay on his input or what, or if he just didn't see the opportunity, was trying to find Faison after maybe a spot dodge read, but missing that ended up costing him with those recovery frames, and Faison finding the finisher in game number 2 and taking the set 2-0 against Stevenator. Personally, I hate to see it. I love Stevenator. I've seen him play forever, especially with the gauntlets, but Faison, another strong contender this year, especially coming up after his strong performance at BCX last year. He's going to be taking it.
Yeah, Faison just completely ran away with that, 100%. There was the early stock that Steve got that was just immediately null and voided when Faison picked up that recovery on the small Enigma game, and then he just completely ran away with it. It was what we saw again of game 1. Faison just completely controlling virtually every aspect of that, except for that one stock in that one game. The rest of the time, it was all Faison's game.
All right, well, moving on to game, well, not game number 2, but the next set, we have Lil Capped and Atrophius facing off. Atrophius not playing a Scythe character, something I'm not sure when this started. I remember he was trying to phase away from it a little bit after some not finding any success in about 2 tournaments in a row with it, wanting to find something different, at least just phase into the sword for a little while trying to find something that works. It's still just weird to see because you attribute Atrophius to playing Scythe. Lil Capped, however, he's exactly where we think he needs to be, playing that Nutcracker, Bodvar, the holiday skin. You know how it is. We've seen this for quite some time.
And just looking at their placements this year, based on that alone, Lil Capped has only placed outside of like top 9 once, and it was a 17th placement. Compare that to Atrophius. Atrophius has only placed better than 17th a single time. and that was at DreamHack Austin. He did pick up 7th there, but recently at Summer Champs, another online tournament like this, he placed 33rd, losing to Mist and Crocky. So Lil Cap, just based on tournament placings alone, it seems like Lil Cap should have this set, but Atrophius does have a little bit of a lead right now. He has stage control as Lil Cap's looking to recover back to the stage. You see him floating very carefully, and there's a gravity cancel D-Light recovery. We've seen that so much from a lot of different players today on Sword. Now we're seeing Atrophius come in with the gauntlets. Picks up a nice little string, putting out some damage onto Lil Cap. He has Lil Cap in the orange at this point. Backs up, throws out that side signature. There's the down signature. That misses. Gets punished by Lil Cap. He's looking to even up the stocks. He's trying to find the kill option. Drops the side air after the guaranteed D-Light.
Oh, Atrophius just barely missing the downlight recovery combo, catching Lil Cap in the air. Another one of those unfortunate opportunities where they get caught kind of middle-bodied in the middle of that downlight. But Lil Cap with a nice slide kick into ground pound, finding the kill off onto the left side. First kill onto Atrophius on his trek back to evening the set. Lil Cap with the hammer now, getting caught by the underneath from the recovery from Atrophius, and Atrophius a full stock ahead. Something a little surprising, actually, because we've seen Lil Cap be very successful in some recent tournaments, outplaying Dismay and Summer Champs both. And Atrophius is now taking the work to him right now.
Now, I think these two have only met once this year in tournament. It was at DreamHack Austin, and Lil Cap did win in that process. But other than that, these two have not met in tournament. Ooh, nice dare, sending Lil Cap just over the edge, following it up with the side signature, and Atrophius almost coming out with the JV3 there. 562 damage compared to like 253 that Lil Cap was able to put out. And we're seeing the Trucker Bodvar come out from Lil Cap, the classic skin that he was using before, completely switching up the skin. That might be the recipe that he needs to take out Atrophius, but Atrophius just coming out big with that. That was a huge two-stomp.
3, 2, 1.
Game number 2 getting started right here. Atrophius getting a little bit of damage to start the match. Just a recovery, you know, nothing too crazy. Something you're used to seeing after seeing so many games just start like that. But Atrophius still unarmed, though. Lil Cap, no stranger to weapon starving. Usually one of the best in the game at keeping their opponent away from those weapon spawns. Lil Cap and Atrophius, though, both on the sword, and we're going to see a lot of swings and a lot of whiffs until someone can find
so many whiffs.
a lot of one combo starter. That's all they need.
Like, the first 30 seconds of that match kind of looked like a gold ring game. Like, no disrespect to Atrophius, Lil Cap, or gold players, but that straight up looked like a gold game.
Either way, no matter how many whiffs it takes, the game is still progressing ever so slowly. Lil Cap approaching the red, Atrophius now approaching that same level because Lil Cap now with the hammer can deal a little bit more damage per hit. And it's just kind of back to it, you know, both searching for something to pick up the other player with, and the side sig off stage is going to be the catalyst that Atrophius needs to find that first kill.
And that's the second time we've seen him use that side signature off the edge right that. With Val, you can do it over the edge and it'll actually move you down a little bit beyond the top of the wall. And he's used it twice. He used it on Shipwreck, now he's used it here, and it caught Lil Cap for the kill both times. So if you're Lil Cap, you have to expect that by now. And Atrophius, again, has the sword. So if he catches Lil Cap on the wall, we might see the side signature over the edge. There's the D-Light there. Are we going to see it? He's positioned back like he might want to go for it. And there we see
nice
it
option.
yet again. Except he waited a couple times before he did. He didn't do it straight away. There's the neutral light, though, coming out from Atrophius. He's looking to take away the second stock from Lil Cap.
Atrophius looking for a little something. I was expecting an upward, like an air chase into a neutral air, but oh, the momentum got stuffed from the weapon throw, unfortunately for Lil Cap, but still holding on to that pressure. Atrophius knows that's going to be it for that stock, and he just bows out, dives into the corner. and Lilcap now has the lead going into this. But how long it will last, I'm not too sure. He is going to be denying that weapon going into the hammer, and as long as he can utilize that range to kind of dissuade Atrophius from trying to approach, he can survive for a little bit longer, but the haymaker catching him on the fall is going to be what causes stock number 2 to go away for Lilcap, and now 1-1. Atrophius and Lilcap are going into it. One stock between the two. Atrophius up 1 game, so this is on Lilcap to win.
Weapon spawn coming in is going to give that relief sword to Atrophius. The sidelight from Lilcap, the stomp into the side air, nice little 3-piece. Side signature over the edge. It's not going to hit Atrophius. Lilcap is looking for these big moves here. He's looking for the side airs. He's looking for the side signatures. He's looking for the nairs to juggle. He finds a grounded sidelight. Ooh, gets the dare just perfectly. There's the neutral light sending Atrophius onto the wall. Lilcap positioning just back enough so Atrophius can't peek over the edge, hit him with a side air, or possibly a side signature, gravity canceled, or anything like that. Putting just enough space between the two of them. Nice spot dodge into the downlight, recovery for the kill. Lilcap does that all the time on hammer. He also does it on sword as well, and he's going to tie up the set between the two.
Still a good showing from Atrophius, though, to keep things even and still even have a bit of a lead going to the beginning of that game as into the first and halfway through the second stock. Lilcap bringing it back, though, slowly moving into his own rhythm, of course. We've seen a lot of success from him with hammers against pretty much every single person in the scene. We've seen him make it all the way to grand finals using that hammer style that he has. So moving into the last one, I think it's going to be a lot more even this time around, or at least Lilcap is going to go into game number 3 with a bit of an advantage, or at least more momentum carrying behind himself in pressuring Atrophius.
Now, Atrophius did leave Shipwreck on the table, putting that tiny sidewall there that he could side signature over, that he could neutral signature up, or to try and stress the offstage play so he can go for the offstage gauntlet dominance that he might be looking for. But Lilcap is actually going to choose Mammoth. We're going back to where we just were.
Ooh, good place from Atrophius. A lot of damage coming out.
Yeah, Atrophius has not been hit yet this game so far.
Those downlight resets are pretty successful for Atrophius right now, and his movement is looking really good, making it hard for Lilcap to guess where he's going to end up on the ground or in the air. And that's the first hit that Lilcap was able to get, was a little bit of a side light just to try to catch him, trying to I guess test the waters to see what he can land.
Chasing Lilcap high, picks up the recovery, doesn't get the nair that might have killed. Lilcap maintaining center stage here, trying to put himself on the inside between Atrophius and the wall. Ooh, there's the D-Light recovery again from Atrophius. It's not going to kill Lilcap.
Side air from Atrophius, not going to kill Lilcap either, but the recovery bump, barely tapping him with that, is going to finish off stock number 1 for Lilcap. And Lilcap now caught without a weapon. Going to try and make the unarmed kit work a little bit. Ooh, not going to find anything there. No slide kick from him is going to work. Going to pick up a hammer, though, however, and that could be what he needs to start bringing this back.
He's going to have to find some serious damage, though, for Atrophius to be even in the beginning of kill percent. That downlight ends up getting punished by Atrophius' neutral light. There's the downlight dare, gets the falling side air. Stomp side air is going to send Atrophius into kill percent. But Lilcap does have sword in his hands, not hammer anymore. Now he has the hammer, so a stomp side air could do it, depending on which side of the platform. It's going to be on the left side. Is it going to be enough? He gets the D-Light into the recovery. If he would have gone for a D-Light into the ground pound, it would have bounced Atrophius off of the soft platform and wouldn't have killed. Had that soft platform not been there, he probably would have gone for the ground pound option that would have been the spiking kill. So his best option was the recovery to send Atrophius off the top.
Atrophius looking for more options here, trying to get on Lilcap, but Lilcap playing more of a spacing game now. You can see him backing up, more attuned to just trying to avoid some of these attacks and look for a little bit more retaliatory damage than proactively throwing out some moves. Ooh, finding a nice recovery, and taking advantage of the fact that Tropheus can't really move around right now, just barely finding that neutral light in order to retake map control. But Lilcap just creates a presence, and as soon as he dashes into the middle of the stage, Tropheus backed up. Now, he did find the kill off the top of the recovery, but still, he's giving him a lot of respect.
Tropheus dancing back and forth with that dash. He's able to find the initiation. He even goes for the weapon toss, but he's able to pick it up. Playing very floaty right now. Almost doing the bunny hops like we saw from iThrow back in the day. But there's the jump side air from Lilcap. The weapon toss is going to go over Atrophius. Atrophius is able to recover high, completely avoid all of Lilcap's attacks.
Tropheus looking for a neutral air to start some form of string. Oh, very nice play from Atrophius. And he's extending the stock out. Not the stock, the combo. He definitely didn't extend the stock out. Taking the fall off onto the left side from Lilcap's side air. And now Lilcap in the red. He's in a little bit of a danger zone.
Atrophius is still maintaining this lead. He has Lilcap in kill percent right now. But nice string options coming out from Lilcap so far. The down air into the neutral air coming out from Atrophius. Ooh, that down light probably would have led to a recovery, which would have led to the kill.
Atrophius posting up in the middle of the stage, looking for an opportunity. The recovery off the top, and that is going to do it. Atrophius taking the kill onto Lilcap, and that is going to be game number 3 going his way. 2-1 against Lilcap. Lilcap dropping down to the lower bracket, and that is Atrophius qualifying for the top 16 for tomorrow. And I think he's going to be
that will even up their sets in tournaments this year, 1 set to 1 set. Lilcap being victorious in their DreamHack Austin set. Now Atrophius being victorious in their Ascension set. But we will be moving on into the next group. We have Remy in the room. Again, I don't know if that's what we're going to see. If it is, it'll be Remy versus Ethan, or I don't know if Remy is just chilling in here like he did against iThrow earlier.
I believe it is Remy versus Ethan coming up next. So once we come back from a break, it will be, I think, Remy versus Ethan.
Oh, are we going on a break?
I think that's what they were talking about it in the in-game chat.
Oh, okay.
So
we will be going on a short break right now. We got some hot games coming at you. Our top 16 is filling out right now. We have Boomy and Phazon and Atrophius qualified for the top 16 to move on into the Swiss bracket and to move on into tomorrow. But stay tuned to see who else will make it on further today, further tomorrow, and ascend to the Swiss bracket in Brawl League Masters. We'll be right back.
Valencia has a huge amount of players that we haven't seen at LANs before. We've got a bunch of people from Spain.
I'm looking forward to fighting Remy and Boomy because I feel like we face each other every LAN we go and they're the best other team out there.
I think we are doing pretty good today. We are playing against very good people here and we are not doing bad. So I think we could have a chance to get in top 8 maybe.
We drive during 6 hours. 6 hours with all the crew. We were 5 on the little car and that was crazy. I am with Sticker, I am with Daz, with Machette and Zapapier.
I basically came for the experience. You know, these Brawl Hall lands are like, the community is always like so close together, and it's nice to meet all these people that I've been playing with for so long.
For twos, we always just like go in it and we're just ready to play. I don't know, like I'm not worried about any teams for twos, and I'm not, like, I mean, I guess we haven't practiced in a while, but I still think we're gonna do fine.
Chasing the light is all we know. Can't stop and I won't let it go. Chasing the light is all we know. Can't stop and I won't let it go. Like a fever, burning up, yeah, we're on fire. True believer, we're walking on the wire. I can see it on the horizon, all our hopes, we can feel it. Chasing light is all we know. Like a fever, burning up, yeah, we're on fire. True believer, we're walking on the wire. I can see it on the horizon, all our hopes, we can.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Brawl League Masters Ascension Tournament. I'm You Got Thrown, and I'm here with Sparky878.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We're just here with bringing you the top 16 qualifiers for the Ascension side of NA, or the NA side of the Ascension tournaments going on right now. Remember, if you are just joining us, that these Ascension tournaments are going to be the catalyst for people to qualify into the Swiss bracket next week. I believe there are 16 total qualifiers for
You
each
would be
region.
correct.
And there will be a lot of games played next week, and of course in that Swiss format, and moving into the top 8 finals for the new Brawl League Masters format and all of that. Top 16, though, for the Ascension tournament will be held tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern US, that is, for everyone out of the country. And we've got a lot of good stuff coming up right now. A lot of the best fighting their way to qualify into the top 16.
But of course, right away, we do have Remy versus Ethan. We saw Ethan a little bit earlier come out victorious in his set. That's why he's on the winner's side of this bracket right now. Going up against Remy, this will be the first real time we've seen him today, and he's coming in on this Hattori pick with the defense stance. We've seen Boomy and Remy run the Hattoris now. I'm trying to remember, I can't remember the first tournament they used it, but they used it in twos, and then both of them just ran with that character in singles as well, and have done tremendous work with it.
1, brawl.
All right, but things getting started off right off the bat. Ethan finding a scythe, but it doesn't really matter as Remy's just more than happy to throw out unarmed attacks and combo him off the cliff, and Ethan just throws that scythe away almost immediately. And Remy now with the sword is just more than happy to take even more advantage by just throwing Ethan from side to side.
Now, of course, this is Remy, number 8 in the NA 1v1 power rankings, compared to Ethan, who is number 30 currently in the NA 1v1 power rankings. So a bit of a disparity between these two players, both still very, very skilled in their own way. It looks like Remy has just a little bit of an edge right now in this spear battle between the Hattori and the Mirage.
Ethan making a small comeback here as they clash in the middle. Ethan with a down sig, pushing Remy almost out of the map, almost finding the kill off the top with that. And Remy trying to find his way back, looking for a neutral sig, but the neutral sig from Ethan in response is going to do it for Remy as he gets thrown off the top. And that is the first stock going the way of Ethan, taking that advantage, trying to get a little bit more damage. And the nice bread and butter combo down light side air from Ethan with the spear. And Remy trying to find a little bit of equalization here as he throws out some signature moves.
He doesn't seem to quite have the spacing on the signatures that he wanted, but he does pick up the Sair, gets the harpoon toss for the kill off the edge. Remy's not too worse for wear at this point, has 35 to 40 damage on his stock, which could be equalized very quickly. He has the sword in his hand. We could see the D-Light Dare side air like we saw from a Tropheus earlier, and actually a couple other players earlier, or we could just see the standard neutral light play, the downlight side air play, possibly some nair play for the juggle off the top. But Ethan's managing to hold on to the lead so far.
He's actually been doing a fair bit of work with his movement options when he doesn't have a weapon, and now that he's got a scythe, we're going to see him do a little bit of cheeky movement, I think, like we saw from him earlier when he was playing against JKR, I think it was, and like JKR Martinez, I think his name was. And Ethan now finding the kill onto Remy, still holding onto this lead, just a very slight amount, but just enough that he can keep this pressure and momentum so that every time that they trade blows, Ethan's always still in the lead just a little bit.
There's a weapon toss. Remy trying to keep Ethan weapon star for as long as he can. The side air sending from the right to the left, the follow-up side air right on the edge of that platform. That is going to be the kill, and Remy has made the lead ever so smaller as he's just now in the yellow as Ethan's spawning in. There's a nice D-Light side air coming out from Ethan to put Remy a little bit further into yellow. Ooh, nice falling nair unarmed into the weapon pickup D-Light side air. Remy has all but evened up this game so far. He's finding these nairs.
Remy making his way back to the stage. He's going to be looking for a lot of good damage, and now pushing Ethan off to the side, but still unable to find a proper edge guard. The range of the spear is going to give a slight advantage to Ethan, making it back, coming up against Remy's sword play. But now unarmed versus straight up sword play. Remy still weapon starving, keeping Ethan off on the side. He's got him in the red, so that's a lot of pressure being put down. Side air, just barely avoiding the weapon throws both, and now dodging through. Remy just barely missing the ground pound, but the side air falling down to the ground is going to confirm the kill. Even though Ethan held a slight advantage throughout most of the game, it wasn't going to matter too much in the end, as Remy just knew how to finish that game off.
Now, I think one of the things that allowed Remy to come back in that game is you saw how many signatures Ethan was throwing out towards the end, even using the heavy options on his unarmed kit as well. He was just kind of throwing them out like candy. It definitely started with Scythe. We saw like 3 wake-up Scythe side signatures. Every single one got punished by Remy. Like, he picked up the Spear side signature for, I think, the second stock on Remy, and he picked up the neutral signature on Spear for, like, the first stock on Remy. But aside from that, we saw so many signatures come out in the end of that game that Remy just punished all but for free. And I think that really led to the comeback that allowed Remy to secure that game into his last stock rag.
Moving to game 2, already Remy getting a little bit of a lead here. Both players trying to utilize the spacing from the spear that allows them to just back up a little bit, especially in the grounded game. Utilize that neutral light, throw out as many of those as possible to try to read the approaches. The nice neutral sig coming from Ethan to get a lot of upward force onto Remy, buy himself some time on stage, get himself set. But Remy knew a very seasoned player, of course, someone we've seen play for countless seasons. Really understanding how to take advantage of Ethan's play.
Struggling to find the move that'll actually kill. The D-Light recovery didn't send Ethan high enough. The side sig on the left side sending to the right didn't send quite far enough. He finally finds the kill there. He's going to strip the field of weapon options, and he's going to stick with the sword here against an unarmed Ethan. He's going to toss that away. It's going to despawn. Ooh, the D-Light into the gravity cancel in-sig doesn't actually hit. The D-Light did, but the gravity cancel neutral heavy did not.
Remy making his way back to stage. Good dodge from him to make it through the edge guard from Ethan. And Ethan now trying to find something here that he can get working on to Remy, because he's now the one troubling to find a kill. Side air just barely doing. I actually did not think that was going to finish him off.
Ooh, possibilities for a huge string here after he got the dodge, but he wasn't able to tech chase. He wasn't able to stick to Remy like glue enough. There's the weapon toss into a nice 3-piece string. Ethan's not finding huge damage that he can dump all in one string, but he's finding like medium damage, like 3 pieces here that he's hit now twice.
Well, Remy just trying to play a little bit more carefully, it seems. Ethan really not feeling confident without a weapon in his hand. Every time you see him lose it, he just plays a very avoidance game. And you can see the double backdash as well. He's very scared of what Remy can pull out. After that game number 1, I wouldn't be too surprised if that was the case. Literally holding his engagements for when he can get a guaranteed retaliation. Something we've seen a couple times. It's something people back up to when they lose a lot of health, but Remy doesn't seem to be phased at all by being pushed into the red. He holding onto a very comfortable position in that point, even chasing down Ethan off of a fresh spawn, getting punished up the down sig, and losing the stock to it. And you can see him going right back into it.
Now, we did see that signature from Ethan that did hit, but we've seen a lot less signature usage from him coming out this game. So he's able to find that adaptation there. He's able to recognize that in between games that he was getting punished for his very liberal signature usage last game, even on the same map. But this game, he's using them a lot less. I think he's maybe missed one, or maybe he's only used one, but that was able to take away the stock from Remy. And see, he has Remy almost in red right now. Ethan has the lead, whereas before he would throw out a lot of signatures. He did throw out the side, but he's definitely been using less. So that's a great adaptation from Ethan.
Remy doing a good job holding the air zone above Ethan, just taking control of that aerial space while Ethan's been so controlled on the ground. I guess Ethan finally found the punish opportunity. Remy was, like I said, holding those aerial zones, but Ethan throwing out that neutral sig again, finding another kill with that neutral sig, being able to punish that positioning from Remy was exactly what he needed. There was too much focus on the ground game, too many neutral lights being thrown out from him, and I think that recognition, again, from what he was using in the beginning of the game, he kind of shifted away from that somewhere in the middle, and it started costing him. But now that he saw that shift, that he noticed that pattern, that neutral sig allowed him to win game number 2 and even up the set.
Now, Remy actually was the one to ban first, and he did ban out Shipwreck this time. We are on Mammoth. There is more of a sidewall, so we could see some more offstage play. That might be what Remy is looking for, because just based on past history, I would say that Remy is probably the stronger offstage player. But maybe, who knows, Ethan is like a ranked warrior. He's an online master. So we could see him on the edge throwing out some seriously goofy stuff that might trip up Remy.
Ethan playing the aerial game this time with the Scythe, looking for maybe a possible down air opportunity to try and get something into a combo started. Maybe pop a dodge onto Remy and go for a grounded neutral light combo. Either way, Remy is just putting too much pressure on. Ethan might be in his head a little bit. He's been backing up a lot and giving a lot of respect to Remy, losing opportunities and punishes for proper usage. Remy still putting a lot of pressure down, trying to control the map, and getting that side sig is going to just give him even more of both of those.
Ooh, there's the D-Light side air coming out from Remy. The weapon toss is going to go over Ethan's head. Out comes the recovery. He was fishing for the nair to try and hit Remy, giving him not only the chase dodge on hit, but he could turn it around, send Remy the other direction, but it didn't hit. Remy was able to confirm the edge guard. And he has a spear in his hand. Ethan is weapon starved. There's the sidelight. Tries to get the chase dodge into the turnaround sidelight the other direction, going right through that neutral signature coming out from Ethan that would have evened up the stocks.
Ooh, good down sig opportunity, especially getting in on the gravity cancel opportunity to pick up a little bit higher in the air if Remy decided to go high. Finding that option is going to lead him into a the first kill onto Remy in this set, giving him the opportunity to bring things back as he's still not too far off. And going into the down air reverse side light was a little unusual. Trying to predict a very particular dodge pattern from Remy. Wondering what he was going for there, if it was just missed input, but usually what we've seen follow up from those down airs with Scythe are grounded neutral lights into neutral light recursion.
Now Ethan has stolen the lead back from Remy. Remy is just a little bit ahead of him in terms of damage, but Remy's able to confirm the kill in the edge guard on the side. Ethan spawning in on his final stock. Remy on his second, but in kill percent. You saw Ethan sliding in for that unarmed recovery, try to take Remy off the top. Oh, still not killing.
He needs to find some kind of kill potential option there. Finally getting the down sig of all things on the dodge in from Remy to try to get right on top of him. That's a very dangerous move, and it comes out very quickly and even has a little bit of iframe usage there with the dip into the sand on the startup. But Remy getting caught by that finally on his last stock. All evened up. Game number 3 as well is going to be a very precarious position for both of these players. Either one of these players could take this, although realistically right now, Remy with the lead would just try to expand on this, especially since he has the experience and the momentum moving into this. Like, Ethan's still on his back foot.
Remy also has the weapon advantage right now. Ethan's able to pick up the Scythe relatively quickly, but Remy is just pushing Ethan further and further into kill percent. He has to be very careful. Gets the read on the dodge through coming out from Ethan, and Remy picks up the side sig, turns him around, gets the kill with it, and Remy is going to take that set 2-1. But Ethan definitely had some really solid moments in there. He was able to find punish options. He once he chilled out a little bit on the signature usage, he was able to find so many more options. He was getting punished less, and he was able to find strings when he needed them.
And now we got our next match coming up right now. A couple players that all of you will know. Sandstorm from earlier, of course, who we saw do pretty crazy stuff up against Tiffany in a 2-1 bracket. Sandstorm had some of the most insane scythe play that we've seen on Twilight Grove. We're probably going to see him try to do, or at least replicate some of that moving into this match against Gangstar's Daiku, the newest pro level addition to the NA roster here, who we've known for a long time. He's been in the EU, tearing it up, coming to every single BCX major LAN tournament since. What was the first one he came to that wasn't BCX? I feel like there was one before that.
No, because he didn't.
Maybe not.
Did he go to Combo Breaker the first year they did it?
No, the only EU player the first year was Zalaxry. So yeah, I guess BCX was the first one that Daiku ended up showing up to. That was the first time we got to see Daiku versus NA, but now it's well, it happens a lot more nowadays.
Yeah, now he's had some actual time to adjust. Like when he played in Summer Champs, I think he ended up coming in 9th, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking right here. Yeah, he did come in 9th in singles in Summer Champs, and that was within a week. It was 3 or 4 days after he actually got to Las Vegas. So there was a little bit of jet lag there, but he's had some time to adjust to everything. Now he is playing on the US West side-ish, but he's not all the way in California. He's just in Las Vegas. He'll complain about the 60 ping a lot more, but 60 ping is 100% doable. And he's coming in against Sandstorm. I don't know how much practice he's had specifically against Sandstorm. I know he's been sparring with a lot of different North American players. Like, he's always looking to spar with a lot of people. I don't know if he's been playing ranked as well, but he's been sparring with so many different people. I just don't know if he's gone up against Sandstorm.
Well, we'll see how the matchup fares. Right now, Sandstorm is getting a pretty decent lead against Daiku, and Daiku not really able to find the proper spacing. Good double pickup on the side, gravity cancel side light from Sandstorm, and another one into the recovery, and Daiku is having a little bit of trouble dealing with the gauntlets from Sandstorm. But ooh, nice gravity cancel from Daiku to get the ground pound off stage, put a little pressure onto Sandstorm, but he doesn't really feel it as he just makes his way back, continues putting a little bit of damage onto Daiku. The recovery would have taken Daiku off the top. The dodge from Daiku is going to avoid that. But the ground pound on the right side, Sandstorm taking it down, stock number 1.
Here's the sidelight from Daiku, looking for the just old school turnaround neutral signature read. That's like back in the day when Ada was like the perfect pub stomp character. Like, once gravity cancels like just happened in the game, gravity cancel in sig on the edge as the edge guard opportunity on Ada's spear was like, that was just the pub stomper right there.
Whoa, that was a very interesting interaction there. Sandstorm didn't look like he dodged the down stick, and it looked like it went completely through him, but maybe that was just a visual thing. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's just me. Sandstorm, though, trying to find his way back to stage. Daiku looking for the finisher and chasing him down completely. Not going to find the kill, though. And now with the guns, ooh, the side air missing is going to allow Sandstorm to just abuse this corner. And the edge guard coming out from both the neutral air into the neutral sig, not going to connect. And Sandstorm now trying to find something else to recovery. It's not going to finish off, though. The weapon throw will.
And again, Sandstorm with these huge, gigantic leads like we saw earlier on Twilight when he took his opponent off the edge. We might see it again. Daiku's going to have enough movement. No, he's not! And Sandstorm didn't even die! There's no way there's not a character coming out from Daiku. Like, there's no way. Okay, he's switching to the Hattori. I'm not sure what he was going for with the Ada pick. And honestly, I'm super not 100% in agreement yet with the Hattori pick. I haven't caught his streams lately, though, so I don't know who he's been playing as of late.
I feel like Ada, even though she's going to be one of the better picks to try to pull out of the tournament, the gunplay, the spear play, the high damage, the movement, it all kind of comes down as long as you can avoid getting hit. Daiku wasn't very good at that in the last game, so we'll see how he fares this time around with a character that's a little bit faster, a little bit more defense, but uses at least spear in similarity. Oh, Sandstorm just waiting.
Daiku camping the wall for just a minute. You saw him try and dodge in, pick up the unarmed damage. He's finding a little bit of it. He picks up the neutral light. Oh, misses the side sig, but gets the turnaround neutral light to stuff the signature coming out from Sandstorm. Daiku's starting to come alive a little bit. We're seeing that sword play, something that he has a ton of experience with.
Ooh, good dodge from Sandstorm to get above and grab that down air into side sig. I think that's that's the down sig, isn't it? With the throw option there. Yeah. So down sig. I almost said side sig again. Down sig for the kill. Daiku looking for a side sig of his own, and now Sandstorm with the scythe play just continuously following up with more and more damage.
Seeing this lead get just a bit bigger. Daiku's able to find the side signature. Is he going to opt for the sword? It looks like he is. He's going to juggle it just for a moment to delay that weapon spawn. It's coming in, but Sandstorm hasn't been able to get to it. Daiku's just saying stuck to it like glue. Sandstorm finally picks it up, has the scythe, doesn't get the side signature follow-up off of the side light.
Daiku making his way back from the stage. Sandstorm finding the punish, though, with the down sig turnaround. Not going to find the kill there. Unfortunately, not enough force for the finisher, but the neutral sig does. And Sandstorm just kind of showing off right now. Doing a really good job at keeping his strings and combos together in a way that he can find the dodge resets, the dodge reads. He's just got every aspect of this game on lock right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him do even better moving into tomorrow if he can keep this kind of momentum going on. Oh my gosh, Sandstorm, so good with those instant turnaround opportunities.
And he's hitting like 2 or 3 hits and then following up with a signature. And even though the signature hasn't hit that many times and he's been getting punished for it, like he's taking 1 hit for the 3 that he's able to output on Daiku. That's why his lead is so big right now. It's just going completely in Sandstorm's favor. And that's a very quick 2-0 on to Daiku. Sandstorm looking insane today. Like straight up, he's gotten 2 3 stocks today.
Yes, 2 3 stocks, and he's been looking fantastic. I mean, we've seen him really coming up in the ranks recently. I think Summer Champs was the first time we saw him really outperform expectation in a singles tournament. And now going on, already qualifying for tomorrow's top 16, looking really, really, really good. A force to be reckoned with. If he can carry that momentum into tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the top 3.
Yep. I would definitely be on the boat with that as well. I'm looking at who Sandstorm played today. He lost 1 game to Tiffany, and then before that, I would reckon that he probably didn't lose a game. Before that, he 2-0'd Epsilon, he 2-0'd Spanish Inquisition, and he 2-0'd Tasty. So he's only lost 1 game today, and it was to Tiffany. He still was able to take that set, which is why he's on the winner's side so far and why he's moved himself into top 16. But right now, we have Wrenched and we have Blood Diamond coming up. Wrenched, of course, coming in on the Asuri that we've seen him play so much, that we saw him come in 2nd place at DreamHack Austin to Kosalix, and then Blood Diamond coming in with the Hattori. Now you've seen him play so much as well. He's not coming in with the Asuri, he's starting off with the Hattori this time.
This is something, I mean, we're more used to seeing him. I mean, it's what his main pick was in 1s and 2s for the longest time. Wrenched, oh my gosh, already putting Blood Diamond, pressuring him on the wall.
Oh,
ground
no.
pounded. That's it.
That's it.
That is it. Just 0 to death, basically. I mean, taking what, 1 hit in there? Wrench just giving him the rap battle. Boom, bada boom, boom, pow. Just finish him off on the bottom. What career. Wow. What some crazy stuff coming out of the Wrench guitars. Just not too unexpected because this is kind of what we're used to seeing from him. We saw a lot of it during DreamHack Austin when he took 2nd place, but that is just something else when you see it in action.
And Blood Diamond has been able to do next to nothing so far to answer that back. Wrench now has the stock lead and the damage lead on Blood Diamond at this point. There's the side light. He picks up the down light after that, but doesn't find the side air, and Wrench coming in with a 3-piece string. He has Blood Diamond in almost kill percent right now. You saw him go for the gravity cancel down light, would have led to the recovery. There's the falling side air coming out from Wrench. You see him dipping back just a little bit to avoid the hitboxes coming out from Blood Diamond. Punishes that gravity cancel neutral signature coming out from Blood Diamond. Wrench is looking for the kill, and he might find it very soon. Blood Diamond going deep on the edge.
Finding the kill off on the bottom.
Find the dare.
Yeah, just finding that edge guard right at the end.
There's the neutral light. Is that going to be the finisher here? The unarmed side air falling is going to take him out. We're seeing the weapon juggling coming in. Wrench is going to stick with the guitars. That's been his weapon of choice.
And now Wrenched looking for a little bit of a combo. Sorry, you see the dodge read. He missed it, but I mean it's still there. He knows how people dodge now that he's been playing so much with these guitars, getting those get the neutral light. Oh, looking for that down air, not going to connect. And now Blood Diamond looking for his own try to turn around on Wrench, but it's not going to work. And now the recovery from Wrench, not enough damage to throw him up in the corner, but losing his guitars, that's going to be a little bit trouble as Blood Diamond now with the spear is going to be helicoptering a little bit, looking for a recovery. Maybe we get ground pound. No, he's going to get stuffed out by Wrench. Recovery up the top. That's going to do it.
And Wrench just completely ran away with that. That was completely his game. And it's interesting because both of these players said they were going to win DreamHack Austin. Of course, neither of them did. But Wrench did heavy-handedly run away with that game. Wrench came the closest. He was second place between the two. but it wasn't enough to take down Kostelix. And Blood Diamond is switching to the Vrax. He has a level 28 Vrax, which I'm a little bit surprised by, but this will be the first Lance that we've seen all day after the infamous Lance patch that gave them the huge side light into neutral air into gravity cancel in light.
I thought for a second you were going to say that they said that they were going to win DreamHack Austin recently, and I was going to say it's a little late for that.
Oh yeah. And Wrenched is actually picking Small Great Hall. I forgot the name for a moment. Small Great Hall, which gives Blood Diamond the option to do side light nair into ledge cancel side light nair into I think a third one. If you get it just right, you can get 3 of them.
If he knows how to do it though, like I'm not really certain on how much he's been practicing this, and maybe it's something he's had in the pocket for a while. Maybe it's something he feels like now's the time to show this off. But until he can show us that this is something that he's been working on, I'm not really sure how I feel about this just yet. I'm not sold. Oh my gosh, good option from Wrench. The weapon throw toss to prevent the outer angle, and then going for the push-off call and ground pound to prevent the insides. That was perfect play on his part to complete the edge guard. Step out of the way, part of the creed. That 99% edge guard just got edged out by Wrenched.
There's the recovery. He was looking for the follow-up with the second one that would have probably killed. The down signature doesn't have a lot of force on it either. There's the falling side air, sending Wrench the other direction. Blood Diamond struggling to find the kill options. He's able to keep himself safe on the edge with the weapon toss. The unarmed recovery is not going to kill. Brax does not have high force.
Blood Diamond getting the side air, almost knocking Wrenched out. He's going to find the wall tap, though. It's going to allow him a little bit of extra time as he tries to survive against Blood Diamond. He doesn't time his recovery options right.
Yeah, I think just Wrench didn't have the dodge off of cooldown. If he would have had the dodge there, it probably would have given him enough momentum to ride up the wall and touch that. But I guess his air dodge was not off cooldown. It's a huge cooldown on that compared to the grounded dodge.
Mm-hmm. It's, what, 3 to 1 seconds? Or a little bit less than that?
For some reason I thought it was 3.5, but I could be...
probably 3.5.
Could be making that up. There's the side light into the side air, though, coming out from Blood Diamond. Tried to follow it up with another side air. He's finding some damage to almost even this up, but Wrench with that falling side air gets a big slap on the Blood Diamond. There was no recovery after that. That's the mix-up from Wrench. He was trying to get the dodge so he could follow up with a bigger string.
Blood Diamond getting a good bit of damage now, finding a lot of damage out of the guns this time around, but Wrench getting in right behind him, taking advantage of the high damage that he carried onto accrued onto Blood Diamond, and just one signature move is all it's going to take. The side sig finishing Blood Diamond off. Now Wrench trying to hold on to the weapon spawn, but Blood Diamond coming from underneath with the recovery, finding the lance, and now trying to prove to everyone else that he can not only use the guns properly, but the lance as well. This Vrax pick he's trying to show is not a fluke. Wrench doing a good job at avoiding the signatures, though. So many down sigs and side sigs coming out from Blood Diamond.
Tries to go for the gravity cancel D-Light, probably into the recovery, but Wrench just finding this damage. The unarmed side heavy gets immediately punished by Wrench as well. The options that Blood Diamond is finding are not kill options, and the one that he is finding are not, and they're getting punished.
Good option from Blood Diamond, though, to use the down sig in order to read the Wrench chase down. If Blood Diamond just went for a normal anti-edge guard, he would have dropped below the wall, thrown a weapon up, and done a recovery or something along those lines. Wrench, I think, was expecting that, and Blood Diamond with the reverse gravity cancel down sig was able to find the kill off of that prediction. So a good mind gaming on his side.
Wrench just looking for the final kill to send this set home. Blood Diamond is finding some damage. He's definitely keeping himself in this game, juggling Wrench with the nairs. Ooh, picks up the recovery. Not quite going to kill yet. Wrench wasn't in kill percent.
Dangerous position from him. Blood Diamond trying to secure the kill onto Wrench, but Wrench now having the edge guard potential. Blood Diamond trying to find his way back. He uses his recovery. Oh my gosh, that was a very... I don't know why he did that. forced out his last recovery option, pushed him away from the wall, and sent him way too high in the air. He didn't have any. I think he maybe had one dodge left at some point to use after that recovery because there were no jumps. It was either that or he just falls down to the ground, and Wrench just took advantage of that completely. I would have expected Blood Diamond maybe go tap that wall again and then try to do, I don't know. At that point, maybe it's just go wide and high and hope you make it.
Now that is a 2-0 going the way of Wrench. He will be qualifying himself for tomorrow and for the Swiss bracket into top 16. He will be facing Sandstorm in their game tomorrow. But that was a big win for Wrench, and he completely took that quite confidently. That was a 2-0 in the set, and that game was pretty confident in the way of Wrenched.
I mean, what we have left on the winner's side as well, we only have 2 games left. It's going to be Noel and Tybo fighting their way for the top 16, as well as Isidru and Ithro. And Ithro, we saw take on LDZ earlier and just make work happen with that hammer. Something that we're not too, surprised about. He's been using the hammer, the Bodvar picks for such a long time, but the skill and the mental knowledge of when to throw out what attacks and how to follow up certain ways, really showing off a lot of similarity to how he was playing last year when he was one of the 3 or 4 major NA players, along with Remy, Boomy, and Noel, in just winning almost every single online or LAN tournament at the time. Really looking similar to how he did before. So going up against Isidru, who's one of the strongest players in the game right now, should lead to a very interesting and very compelling game. To finish off the winner's bracket side, the other game, though, that we're going to be seeing first, I believe, is going to be Noel versus Tybo. Noel, I don't think we got to see anything from Noel today so far.
That is correct. This will be the first time that we've seen him today. They have met in tournament one time before this year, and it was in Winter Champs, and Noel did end up taking that out. So I'm curious to see if that will be a repeat of history here. Noel does have the Sentinel locked in, which he only has to level 19. He's been playing Asuri like almost this entire year, so it's interesting to see him stay on the Katars and then move. Okay, no, it's just the Koji. Never mind. The Sentinel pick was a bait. Okay, all right.
You thought we were about to see Rosario, not Noel.
Yeah.
The return of Rosario? I hope not.
This pick of Koji is 100% expected coming out from Noel. We've also seen him play the Hattori. We've also seen him play the Asuri as well. I'm curious as to what Tybo will bring out. Probably a Mordex, possibly a Jiro. He's out of the lobby right now, but before he left the lobby, he did lock in a Jiro. So not quite sure what the holdup is.
Likely something to do with something in the client or internet connection. I mean, that's what's going to happen sometimes in these online tournaments, is you run into those issues, sometimes the internet connection's acting up. Sometimes you get a little bit of input lag. For whatever reason, the ping gets a little higher. Who knows? But Noel set on the Koji pick, something that we're pretty used to. It was his main pick ever since he started the game, like ever since he played in final round 1. But Tybo, working on the Jiro pick. I think that's what he's going to be pulling out. Yep, there. He's got it right there. He's been working with Scythe for quite a while, and for him to move away from that, I think right now would be kind of unexpected.
But we will be moving into this game. Tybo on the Jiro pick, he is putting 1 into defense, taking 1 out of his strength. So he is going to only have 4 strength. So it is going to be tough to kill. Maybe if he's able to find the down signatures that we saw him find earlier, or maybe the neutral signature on Sword, like we saw him pick up with a couple times before. But Noel will be coming in with this Koji pick that we've seen him win tournament after tournament with. One of the highest placing single players this entire year. He's only had 2 placings that were outside of top 8, both of which were a placement of tying in 9th. So extremely high placements coming out from Noel in singles this year, showing why he is the #1 ranked singles player in North America.
Well, trying to start things off right, but Tybo keeping hand in hand right with Noel. Blow for blow. Tybo trying to keep a little bit of map control, trying to stick right on top of Noel so that he doesn't have a lot of room to move. You see a lot of this movement speed coming in, helping Tybo stay right on top of Noel. Noel trying to play a little bit of a short game. He doesn't have a lot of dancing space in terms of where he can go onto this stage because it's so small and has so little grounded area.
Now we saw Tybo play here earlier, and he was able to take the set. It was an extremely slow set, though. I wonder if that'll be the case here. Finds a nice dare and gets the weapon toss to finish that out. Definitely a lot quicker than the previous set that we saw him play on Brawlhaven here.
Oh my gosh! Oh, Tybo almost getting another edge guard kill at the bottom of the stage, landing the weapon throw and just barely missing the down sig. The dodge from Noel coming out at just the right time. That would have cost him immensely. Tybo now trying to approach Noel. Noel getting a little bit of a retaliatory down sig, spot dodge, and he even held it expecting the spot dodge, but he was a little too far away on either account. And Noel finding the kill, evening up the stocks, but man, this could have been so different had Tybo landed that down air.
Tybo trying to get back to maintain center stage, put himself as far away from the blast zone as he possibly can. There's the ground pound. Oh, there's the down air coming out from Noel. Is he going to confirm this edge guard here? Oh, Tybo playing really, really low. Noel knew that he was going to dip down really low, getting deep into that push-off column, hitting the ground pound, and confirming that edge guard.
Tybo approaching Noel, neither one having any sort of weapon right now. Tybo picking up the sword there. Noel not immediately opting to go for the weapon. Maybe he was waiting for some sort of opportunity. The down light into a ground pound possibility off stage. Something a lot of pro players love to use as their kill option of choice when someone's trying to recover back. Ooh, nice dodge from Noel to avoid that, but no punish on his part. A very unusual opportunity to miss there, especially for him. Someone who is more used to, or at least we're more used to seeing him go for a lot of those punishing plays.
We have Tybo on the edge, and he's going to fall again. These ground pounds from Noel have been so precise. He's been placing them exactly where he needs to, and he's going to win these edge guards, taking out some early stocks from Tybo. Now we are seeing the switch from Jiro onto the Mordex. This is another classic Tybo pick. Of course, completely centered around the Scythe, but then he also has gauntlets this time. He has the really strong signature kit, which is something that I think Jiro kind of lacks. We see from the few Jiro players, aside from that down signature on Scythe, we don't see a lot of signature usage, and that's complete 180 from what we see out of a lot of Mordex players. But Noel picking up a beautiful downlight ladder, picking up 2 and ending with the side air, trying to get the slide charge desig on the edge. A little bit interesting option choice there. I don't know what he was quite going for, but he's staying dead even in damage with Tybo so far.
That double sword downlight is actually something that we don't normally see. Oh, downlight again. Going for the ground pound option. Not going to connect as Tybo goes wide, and now trying to get the back onto the stage. Tybo looking for a little bit of a side air action, push Noel off, but Noel's going to be the one to throw first, and that is going to be the side air. Tybo going low. Noel finding the crutch, and there it is. The slide kick into ground pound, dropping him down off the side of the stage, and that is going to be it. Noel taking that first initial advantage in the match and just already playing so much more aggressively than we saw in the last match.
There's the Silite. Tybo was looking for the neutral signature follow-up. He's throwing out a lot of these signatures, but Noel isn't even close to kill percent, even on this tiny map of Brawlhaven. There's the down sig sending Noel to the side. Tybo has Noel on the edge, but he's not going to engage with anything more than a side signature.
Tybo looking for the side stick. Ooh, another one trying to get thrown out, and now Noel coming back across the stage, looking for a little bit of extra extended range from that downlight. Not able to confine it. He's still keeping himself spaced out just enough to avoid these signatures, but Tybo, knowing that he could find a kill on either side of the map with these signatures, especially from center stage, really thirsting for one of these signatures, especially gravity cancel. There's a lot of these right now.
And Noel knows how close he is to death with all these signatures being thrown out from Tybo. That's why he's playing a little bit more paced. He's being a little bit more careful against Tybo. He's overspacing everything and looking for the moment to punish. There's the neutral light, almost sending Noel off stage. There's the weapon toss down, but Noel isn't going to fully commit to the edge guard. He's going to get back onto the main platform, take his one hit every now and then to extend his lead. And because of that, oh no, Tybo's going to fall. That neutral light caught him, and he did his dodge towards the platform, and I think he still thought he had movement options, so he didn't side air into the wall, and that would have saved him. That would have reset his jumps.
Oh, nice pick out of the air by Tybo off stage. The neutral air giving him that opportunity to turn it around right off stage and get the anti-edge guard off onto Noel. Noel only in his second stock, though, that stock extension from him only finally losing his first is going to go so far and could just end up giving him the set, considering how careful and how on point he's playing right now.
Noel has Tybo on the edge. Historically, this has gone Noel's way almost every time. There's the weapon toss. Noel still being very careful. He knows that he has a huge lead. With that downlight, he dipped just below Tybo, so if he would have gone for the ground pound, it would not have hit. He was able to recognize that in the moment.
Ooh,
that side signature almost ended up hitting. I think Tybo was expecting the chase dodge, possibly a chain dodge into maybe a neutral signature or a turnaround down signature, but Noel just waited there, charging up that side signature. It almost hit. He was still able to confirm that game in the end, and Noel just all but making it look easy.
That's Noel for you. I mean, he's the master clean. Like, he's master clean. You walk up, you see him in person, he looks clean with his outfit. I mean, I know you made comments on it in the past, like seeing him at CEO Dreamland with the old Flashpoint logo. Now all he needs to do is get Sean Durst to give him a nice track suit with the Space Station Gaming logo on it, just for him, and he'll rock that. Like, but you translate that cleanliness into like the game, and just his play has so few flaws in it because he plays so optimally that you just run into these situations where he just takes people down, making it look easy.
But Noel will be moving on, solidifying himself in the top 16. He will be fighting Remy next time we see him. But right now we have Isidru versus iThrow. And iThrow coming in with this Caspian pick. We've seen, I don't want to call the Caspian pick like a troll pick. It's just not something that we see that often. We saw Egg come in with a pretty dirty Caspian in the past. But iThrow has been known to, like, he's a cheeky guy. So he's been known to come in with these somewhat cheeky picks. Of course, this is a level 12 Caspian. I don't know how much experience he has on Katars. Don't know quite how much experience he has on Gauntlets if you total it all up. But this is a level 12 Caspian coming up against Isidru's level 82 Bryn.
Here we go, getting this game started off right. Isidru and iThrow. iThrow definitely, like you said, on a very unusual pick, going with a defensive stance as well in order to make sure that I guess he takes a little bit less damage from those signatures that Isidru is going to throw a million of. iThrow now picking up the weapons, start things off. We're going to see him getting already a pretty nice advantage with these gauntlets, throwing Isidru off stage, but not enough force behind those hits yet because, I mean, fresh stocks, fresh game, fresh set. Everything's not quite there for iThrow to get a lot of these high-octane, high-force combos and strings with these gauntlets off just yet. But that movement and option select shows that maybe he does have the mentality and gauntlet intelligence to use these in a higher tier way.
Now, we don't have any direct tournament past history this year to draw on for any information. They haven't met in tournament this year whatsoever. But iThrow is coming in 16th in one's North American power rankings, whereas Isidru is 4th. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. So I'm curious to see how these two will fare against one another. iThrow is going to be finding that first stock with the beautiful side air and that laser-focused weapon toss. But of course, we've seen Isidru hit so many signatures in the past. He uses them not quite like anyone else does. We've seen people try to replicate it, often replicated. No, I often imitated, never replicated, I think is the term that we would use to describe Isidru here. He's one of a kind, man.
Isidru getting that kill off on the right side, evening up the stocks, now going for the weapon starve. Ithro trying to make his way on top of Isidru as he tries to utilize at least the unarmed kit just a little bit, but he is going to be finding those guitars. He's going to be looking to make something work off these with the Isidru with a lot of damage coming out of the axe right now. The combos he's no stranger to. Ithro now turning around, getting some fast damage. I know some people might think guitars aren't very good. It's kind of a meme right now in the chat, but like the versatility coming out of these weapons are always going to be usable. You're going to be able to find angles from every single option, and Ithro is just starting to use these very well. The dash in double down light into the recovery, not going to finish him off, but a great option for pressure and damage.
Nice spacing on that slap coming out from Ithro. He dipped out and then dipped back in Tar's effective range. He tried to pick up that side signature, back-to-back side signatures. Isidru throwing out so many attacks, and Ithro finds the perfect one to punish. He's going to take Isidru off that left soft platform all the way into the blast zone. It's actually really, really close how far he was to that blast zone. You're seeing Ithro sticking on the wall. Isidru is not going to go over with the edge guard. He's just going to throw some sidelights right over the edge.
Isidru throwing out so many attacks too. Finally getting the ground, the gravity cancel neutral sig, taking Ithro off in the top right corner of the map and just taking it down, extending this momentous gain that he is taking into this. Ithro trying to turn things around with the guitars, of course, and I don't know. Ithro's really finding a place of his own right now against I said Ithro is. I meant Isidru. Isidru is finding his place with this axe against Ithro's guitar play, which is a bit unconventional compared to what we're used to. I mean, we're used to seeing him on the Bodvar or at least sword hammer in some capacity. And this is, whoa! The neutral sig cancel off on the top to get the opportunistic kill. A very risky opportunity. If he dodged down, then that would have been an easy punish for Isidru, but what an incredible play, taking the kill off the top.
And because the way that neutral sig is designed, it has that kind of cone attack. So that covers a lot of dodge options where a lot of other Qatar characters and Qatar players might specifically go for the recovery read in one direction or the other. Whereas this beautifully utilized neutral signature, that's going to cover a cone in both directions. So unless Isidru went like down into the left or directly to the left, I think he was going to get hit in almost every single situation, no matter where he dodged there. So there's just great placement from Ithro, utilizing that neutral signature with the higher force on it and with that cone of attack.
Ooh, going for another neutral sig. And Ithro going for another one, just following them up, trying to read out those aerial jump over movements from Isidru. And Isidru now trying to get in, but is going to get punished from the side sig. Ithro missing the throw, and now going for the ground pound, just barely missing the connection. And Isidru picking up the axe, getting the side air, now pushing him off another one. Can he get it back? No. That is going to be dying from the force, but I don't think he had any jumps on the back end either to make it back. So either way, he was dead meat. Ithro trying to get the gravity cancel side sig, not going to connect it, but nice looking on his part. The down sig from Isidru, catching him on that the high frame trap.
There's the nice side signature. Too bad for Ithro that it was on the right side sending to the left, so it didn't have enough power on it to send straight to the blast zone. Isidru was able to get back to the platform. Ithro might be trying to look for another one, but he's taking some serious damage. He's going to retreat back to the wall, but there's going to be a slide charge down sig coming out from Isidru to cover so much territory, but Ithro is able to get around him, get behind, and hit the side air for the kill. See the falling airs coming out from Ithro, but a big side air from Isidru is going to kill Ithro. Isidru with a huge lead this game.
Almost over an entire stock. He's so commanding in this lead that now Ithro is just trying to stay away from it at this point. Holding the spear game. Oh, off stage. Can you get in the punish? Of course you get the punish there. he did touch the wall, just had one jump there to get back, did find his way back on stage, but Isidru is now just commanding this game, completely turning this around on to Ithro. Ithro getting the neutral stick, but it's not that much. It's dropping something into a sea. Like, you notice the splash, but it's still not big enough to make waves. Isidru making his way across, getting the side air, looking for the finisher right now, getting the double side air. Ithro too low. The ground pound not going to connect. He held that dodge until the very end. Good on his part, but the down sig breakdance. This is it. There it is.
I love that people are using the unarmed down heavy like more now. I feel like there was a time when people used it because it was a meme and then nobody used it. And now people use it like regularly because it does have the property of covering both sides. So you don't have to be quite as precise with it. It will cover in front of you, it'll cover stacked, and it'll cover behind you when you do it. So it's actually like a really great option if you can get in stacked on your opponent.
3, 2, 1, brawl.
It's something that we've been missing from tournaments since the beginning. I mean, there was a time when people did use it, but the hitbox on it was actually pretty broken. It hit way higher than it was supposed to. And I think people stopped using it as much once the hitbox got reeled in a little bit. But now that everything is sort of in the same camp, people are rediscovering the effectiveness because it does have a lot of force behind it.
Something else that has a lot of force is this axe that Isidru is using right now. He's finding these strings. He has the damage lead onto Ithro. One more hit will probably put Ithro in the kill percent. In comes the sword neutral light, but Ithro's taking a lot of punishment in the meantime. Oh, and there's the recovery. The top side of it is going to connect with Ithro, sending him off the top. This is a big lead for Isidru.
Good combo game from Isidru. Getting a lot of damage on Ithro. Ithro trying to set himself up for the edge guard. Gets the slap, and that's going to do it. The slap off to the side, evening up the stocks. Ithro holding onto those guitars so they can get a little bit more out of the mileage for these. The versatility from these things, giving him a lot of anti-air in the neutral air and the neutral light, trying to catch depending on where he is. The neutral light having a lot of damage as well. Ithro trying to make something work though onto Isidru, and Isidru doing a good job at avoiding the nice back dodge from Ithro, but just barely getting back to stage now. Isidru did a good job forcing the edge game as well. And the neutral sig, good job. Well, good read on that. And now the turn around recovery, smacking him across the stage. Ithro didn't touch the ground for a good solid 30 seconds there.
Yeah, he straight up just got pinballed around from the right side to the middle to the left side. Like, Isidru was just giving him a beautiful tour of shipwreck.
He took him from the palm trees to the waterfall and showed him that there's another one on the other side, and yeah, there's a lot of waterfalls here. And
that was a beautiful full tour. That wasn't the public tour that just any other rando gets. That was a personalized Isidru tour.
This is the Isidru special. Only $5.99.
Honestly, that's a really good price. The level of care and just personality that Isidru puts into the tours, and he might be looking to do it again.
Well, okay, let's be real. I mean, it's that cheap because it also involves a little bit of axe abuse. Mm-hmm. That's what it requires. Oh my God! Slide charging the down sig all the way off the stage and catching it on a gravity cancel, but there's not enough force behind it. Ithro trying to make his way back on and looking for a weapon, the sword, maybe giving a little bit of a respite, but the haymaker throwing him all the way across to the left side of the stage. That's Isidru for you, taking it down. Flashpoint to the face. Ithro gets dropped down to the lower bracket as Isidru is the last winner's side bracket contender to qualify for tomorrow's top 16.
Yeah, we do have more matches ahead of you, but right now, to just fill out our top 16, we have Noel versus Remy, we have Sandstorm versus Wrenched, we have Boomy versus Phazon, and we have Isidru versus Atrophius. That will be the winner's side trying to qualify into your top 8, but now we will be moving down into the losers bracket, and it looks like we have Double Dime versus Lil Cap in front of us. Now, all the rest of the matches that you're going to see today, those are all losers bracket matches. So if you lose here, you're out of the tournament.
And it is all that is left, of course. Like you said, Lil Cap and Double Dime, Ethan and LDZ coming up, I think, afterwards. And then right after that, probably a iThrow versus Koslix game. And these are the last 3 qualifiers moving into top 16, like you said. So it's the beginning of the end for today's tournament.
And it looks like these 2 players have not met in tournament this year, so this matchup doesn't have a lot of history to pull on. But Lil Cap is currently in singles in North America power rank number 6, and Double Dime is ranked number 19. We've seen some really good placings and some not so great placings coming out from Double Dime, so he's been a little bit inconsistent. We've seen as worse or as bad as 33rd, which again isn't the worst, but we've seen him place 33rd, 25th, 13th, which is pretty good, 17th, which is kind of medium, and we've seen him place 9th. That's been his best placement this entire year. And then most recently in Summer Champs and singles, we've seen him place 33rd again. So recently, not so great, but in DreamHack Austin, that was his best placement of the year, coming in at 9th. I think he either knocked out Daiku or he knocked Daiku into the losers bracket. It was Double Diamond, I think, a Tropheus that were the ones to knock Daiku out. And he just recently tweeted that he's not awful off stage. I don't remember his exact wording, but that he was not bad off stage anymore, and that was something that he's been working on.
Well, I mean, I would hope so. He's playing Kaya. He's got the spear options for the long range, and that's obviously got, you know, down light options for off stage play or down air. And then in case he doesn't want to go off stage, he's also got the down sig opportunity where you can just egg whip the corner and hope they just run into it. Will Lil Cap run into it? I don't know, but he was really hooked on using that egg beater before, so we're probably going to see it a lot in this game. That being said, I hope he is good off stage, because a lot of what bow play has to bring to the table, especially getting a lot of pressure in an edge guard game, involves going off looking for down airs, and egg beater held on a little bit too long.
Yeah, Lil Cap was able to just dodge that. It almost looked like he was going to get clipped and picked up by the top side of it, but he was able to get around Double Diamond punish. There's the stomp side air, and Lil Cap could be looking for a very early kill. It's going to be the unarmed recovery, not quite going to kill at this point, but we do have a sword in Lil Cap's hand, so it's going to be a downlight side air as the auto combo, finishing it up with a weapon toss to take out Double Dime very early.
Lil Cap with the hammer now. Double Dime able to get on top of Lil Cap with a dodge and downlight into a conversion off that. And Lil Cap now working with some map spacing. Something that Sword is actually phenomenal at utilizing. Holding, excuse me.
Bless you.
I'm so disappointed now. I was trying not to, and it slipped out. Lil Cap, though, holding onto the map control, trying to get a lot of damage off onto Double Dime and pressure him from angles all over the map, from the center at the very least. Now you holding onto that hammer in order to get the scoop, get some aerial hits. Those aerial hits doing a lot of damage, and now he has the positioning onto Double Dime, who's trying to float the island, get back to main stage. But Lil Cap, is he going to let him? Playing a little bit too carefully, I think.
It seems like Double Dime's kill option of choice right now. We've seen him do it a couple times, but it's been the just ground pound onto the stage, which you have the D-Light recovery being a more viable option. Ground pound did get a buff recently, but so did side air as well. So I'm surprised we're not seeing the D-Light recovery or the D-Light or just into the side air or just a raw side air as the kill option from Double Dime when he has Spear in his hand.
The punish from Lil Cap is going to cost Double Dime his second stock. Lil Cap still in his first stock, though. Really doing a fantastic job at pressuring and utilizing that map control to keep Double Dime on his toes, forcing him into the air for a lot of options. Lil Cap now with the hammer, throwing out the sig, and no punish from Double Dime as he threw out his own retaliatory back to stage. But the ground pound is possibly going to do it. The weapon throw securing the kill, and that is going to be the first stock for Double Dime, and he's got a long way to come back.
There's the D-Light into the recovery coming out from Lil Cap. Double Dime has just been falling behind in damage potential, in kill potential. We haven't seen a lot of offstage, so that could still go in Double Dime's favor. But that beautiful side sig with all the reach possible, is able to get Double Dime, and Lil Cap just completely taking that game and running away with it. 587 damage to 234, very much in Lil Cap's favor.
Moving into game number 2, we're gonna wait, did you catch if there was a legend swap? Okay,
yes,
there
there is a legend swap. There's a costume swap for Lil Cap. He's going back to the Nutcracker Bodvar, but Double Dime is switching to this Ragnar pick, something he's probably a little bit more familiar with. He does have a level 58 Ragnar, so that is some serious time spent on this Ragnar for Double Dime, and this is something that we're more akin to seeing.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
Lil Cap making his way into the center of the stage again. Double Dime looking for a weapon spawn, but Lil Cap is going to be the one to completely weapon starve him out. Something he's been really good at recently is just keeping people away from their weapons and trying to take advantage of their attempts at getting those weapons away from him. Lil Cap now just doing a little bit more punishing with the hammer play that we are used to seeing.
And Double Dime just is not finding the strings that he needs. He's finding like one hit, but if you're trading one hit for two when you have guitars and your opponent has hammer, that trade is not in your favor whatsoever. You have to find those 1, 2, 3 hits for every one that Lil Cap is putting out, or you just have to find 2 hits or 1 hit more often without taking punishment, because per hit, guitars do not do that much damage.
Lil Cap with the other coach pitch. Recovery from Double Dime, getting back on the stage, looking for the anti-air option, but it's not going to connect it and just barely avoids the punish. The neutral light throwing Lil Cap off into the right side is going to create a good position for Double Dime, but he's not been playing off stage very much. I mean, you were talking about his claim to off-stage fame, and I still have yet to see more of that. But hey, if he decides to use maybe guitars at some point, or if he sees an opportunity to go for a good axe down air off stage and confirm a kill, maybe we'll see what he's been talking about recently. But Lil Cap now pressing on stage, getting that coach pitch again, finding the kill off on the right side, and just holding on to a little bit of this momentum that he's had with his hammer.
Based on what we've seen so far from Double Dime, it's kind of the same story on both guitars and axe. He's getting like 1 hit for every 1 hit that he's taking from Lil Cap. So I kind of just want to see him stick with the axe. I think he's going to have much better kill potential there. If he's trading hit for hit, he's going to win in terms of if Lil Cap has the sword, and he's going to be about even if Lil Cap has the hammer. So I think sticking with this axe and still getting that 1-for-1 hit trade, that's going to be a lot more in his favor than it was if he was using guitars. I also think he might have better signature options here. He's going to have a lot of range with the side signature. He's going to have the down signature that he used earlier, but I think he used it as a bait, which is something that we see from a lot of Ragnar players, and then he immediately punished when Lil Cap tried to punish him. And then we'll also have the neutral signature that we see Wilson use and a lot of other Ragnar players use as an anti-air option. So I just kind of want to see him stick to this axe if at all possible.
The axe has been, you know, like you said, pretty successful for him, but having thrown that away, we don't really see too much from him using unarmed kits. So trying to get on top of Lil Cap, who knows how to control his immediate area. He's got to find that weapon pickup, and Lil Cap is just going to starve him out completely again. So he's got to be careful. The chase down from Lil Cap, the weapon throw, and a continued starve. Just textbook Lil Cap play, and Double Dime, now stuck in the middle, has really nowhere to go.
And every time these weapons spawns, Lil Cap is throwing his away and picking it up. He's not even giving Double Dime the option. He's not sitting around it using it as a trap to where Double Dime can dodge through him or take the hit and still pick it up. He was just straight up keeping Double Dime weapon starved as best as he could. Beautiful spot dodge there into the downlight side air punish.
Oh! Ooh! The little hesitation there, trying to draw out the dodge. And it is going to work as he takes the ground pound straight to the face of Double Dime, and that's going to be the knockdown. And this is his last stock. This is going to be him potentially dropping out of the tournament, because this is the lower bracket now. There's no more do-overs. There's no more second chances.
Double Dime looking to close this stock out as fast as he can so he can even it up in this game. You see him looking for those kill options. He's trying to find the recovery. He's trying to find the side airs. ends up taking a neutral light coming out from Lil Cap. Double Dime is taking more and more damage. He's not able to find the kill options. He's not able to close off the second stock. He's almost in orange now. Ooh, but he doesn't find the kill option. He finds the side light into the down light. He's not finding what he needs for the win condition here. And again, Lil Cap is going to be able to pick up the weapon.
Nice side air. He's got Lil Cap in kill range. Deep red, but ooh, Little Cap with the side sig, and that almost took Double Dime out. He still has the opportunity. No, just kidding. The side sig coming out of nowhere, taking Double Dime out of the tournament, and that is going to be it, unfortunately for him. Lil Cap moving on into the top 16 now on the loser's side is going to give him some room to maneuver, I think, and give him some time to rest before tomorrow's continuation of the tournament.
Yeah, that will be Lil Cap moving on in a 2-0 set against Double Dime. That was a really big win for Lil Cap, just completely controlling so many things. He had such a lead both games, and he will be moving on, and unfortunately that will be it for Double Dime. There is no secondary losers bracket here for him, and I'm curious as to what the next game will be. I think it's going to be Ethan against LDZ. We have Ethan here in the lobby, so my guess is it's going to be LDZ coming in, trying to keep himself alive on this losers bracket run.
All right, well, getting ready for this right here, we've seen LDZ play earlier today against who was that? It was against Ithro, and Ithro just took the game away and ran with it. Now, having seen, let's see, he came back through the bracket against Catnip. And looking at the side down here against Best Java before his loss, or after his loss in the winner's side of things. So not as many big name players maybe as some of the other ones that we might be seeing in the lower side right now. But either way, Ethan and LDZ, this is going to be a very tense match between the two. And if LDZ has warmed up a little bit, or I don't know, remembered how to play on some level, maybe we're going to see a really good game between these two. Otherwise, it's up in the air.
Yeah, this would be a huge win for Ethan. Not only would he continue himself in this tournament, but he would send the world champion in ones, LDZ, home. Not only just the world champion, the two-time world champion that is LDZ. LDZ coming in with this Diana pick, Ethan with the Mirage that we saw earlier. And this is actually the last set that we will see for the day. So possibly a very explosive match to end on. It'll either be LDZ waking up and playing to his potential, or it'll be Ethan taking down a giant.
LDZ already getting a lot of damage here and flowing just perfectly into the guns, getting the down light combos off and just keeping the pressure going. Ethan finally picking up the scythe, something that we've seen a lot of success with from him in the past from different sets. LDZ now trying to get a lot of success from the guns and using that side sig, trying to get a read off onto Ethan, I think. Trying to get that side sig read where he catches him off, gets a lot of force behind it, and forces the kill early on. But we're not really seeing the connection there. Ethan with his own side sig going to find the connection. That is, good options from LDZ.
Now, LDZ has a little bit of a lead right now. I think that's been mostly nullified. Both players are red. Oh, and LDZ, oh no, not keeping track of his movement options. He was in the air for so long that I think he had he thought he had something that he didn't actually have. He ended up being caught in the air, so he wasn't able to touch and reset his jumps. And Ethan is going to take just a little bit of a lead that's going to be completely all but nullified here with the down signature from LDZ right on the corner.
LDZ looking for more damage. Ethan getting the double down light into side air. Good damage combo coming out from the nice read Ethan made onto LDZ's lack of dodge. At that point, LDZ now trying to get some use out of the guns, getting a little bit of damage here and there, missing every other read or so. It's going to cost him as Ethan does get an opportunity to get a little bit of retaliation damage. Now with the down air, looking for that side sig, not going to connect the LDZ, turning around. More down light, gravity cancels, but dodges right into the down sig.
Ethan picking up the spear here. Going for the down sig again, trying to cover that stacked option, maybe expecting the dash in since LDZ was unarmed. He's going to pick up the recovery, holds the lead onto LDZ. You see him swapping weapons, but he's going to stick with the scythe here. He wants that huge string potential. He's going to use that weapon as a trap. He knows that that's what LDZ needs to take out the kill, to take off this second stock from Ethan. Now Ethan's actually the one who's unarmed. You see him trying to punish that down signature. LDZ picks up the guns here, keeping Ethan weapon starved even further. Seeing a little bit of unarmed damage coming out from Ethan. He still has this lead. LDZ struggling to find the kill option that he needs. Ooh.
Nice avoidance from Ethan.
Almost contacting.
That would have been almost certain death off the top, and if not certain death, a follow-up from LDZ would not have been far behind. You can see him with the tech chase almost immediately after landing an attack, looking for some kind of follow-up, some kind of pressure. Even if he's just putting his body in the way to at least scare Ethan into some kind of movement that is not optimal, LDZ is doing a good job at just putting himself out there in front of Ethan in order to create some kind of pressure just from standing in front of him. I mean, those guns, especially having extended range, good combo from LDZ. That's a lot of damage coming out. But the down sig, or the neutral sig, not the down sig, finding the kill onto LDZ, taking the win in game number 1 over LDZ in a very close game.
LDZ coming in, not swapping characters. He's going to stick with this Diana. Of course, Ethan staying on this Mirage that we saw from him all day today. Now, is Ethan going to be able to pick up that early lead that we saw from him that he was able to hold on for the rest of the game? Or is LDZ going to do LDZ stuff and all of a sudden wake up once he starts losing? We've seen him do it countless times in grand finals.
Ethan taking advantage of the dash-ins. LDZ still utilizing those down air, or those gravity canceled down lights to try to build up damage. Ethan losing his sight though, and he still has map control, which is going to allow him to pick up the spear in return. LDZ trying to just find a little bit of damage though. Good movement on his part, utilizing the platform in the middle in order to dodge and throw out some side airs. But Ethan with the ground pound off stage, creating a little bit of pressure on LDZ, and now that side light, that loose side light into the neutral state, creating even more pressure. LDZ trying to follow up, maybe get a ground pound off stage. No, goes back onto the stage, and Ethan is just going to go into even more of an edge guard position.
There's the side signature coming out from LDZ to confirm the kill. Now it's him with the lead this game, and he has guns in his hands. It looks like Ethan is just not wanting to go off stage against LDZ, which, I mean, I don't really blame him. We've seen LDZ do a lot of great stuff off stage. That weapon toss was one of the biggest commitments that we've actually seen off stage.
Good pressure coming out from LDZ. Ethan able to find a little bit of damage, but no follow-up for his start. And now looking for a little bit more. The weapon throw trying to disrupt LDZ's movement. LDZ, as he gets back on the stage, you're going to see some down airs maybe? No, getting grounded. And there's the punish from Ethan. Gravity canceled, down light into recovery for the kill, and it's all even back up.
See it again. Ethan trying to zone around that weapon. It's interesting that he doesn't get rid of it immediately. He's just kind of using it as a trap, and he hasn't been able to confirm too much damage off of it. It's mostly just let LDZ get a weapon, if only just delaying it just. Ooh, but there's a nice double down light into the side air. LDZ recovering very high, trying to follow with a dare and hit Ethan. He does pick up the down light into the side air. LDZ still holding on to this lead, but that gravity cancel neutral light is going to be picked up when LDZ jumps after his D-light.
Ooh, good dodge after... Good timing on the dodge after the weapon throw. Would have most certainly been to a very precarious position for LDZ, but the turnaround to find that kill, and now the momentum shifts in his favor, finding the first advantage of the set, and Ethan a little bit on his back foot now. Remember, this is loser's bracket. Whoever takes the fall here is out for the rest of the tournament.
Now, we aren't seeing the LDZ domination like we're used to. We're seeing him pretty much go even with Ethan right now. Both players all but fresh on their last stock. LDZ is able to pick up a weapon. Ethan hitting a nice three-piece string, trying to fish for the nair for the fourth hit. There's the side light. Doesn't pick up the nair here. LDZ starting to juggle Ethan into the air. The damage is dead even between these two. There's the sidelight into the nair, into the recovery.
Ethan already pushing LDZ off on the side. The recovery, putting LDZ on the stage, and now he's going to have to touch the wall, get back on. But Ethan has all the pressure in the world right now. He has the opportunities. The side stick coming out, not going to connect, and LDZ slowly turning things back around. Ethan getting the side air, pushing LDZ offside again, and he looks like he's backing up, allowing him to come back onto stage so he can find a punish elsewhere.
Ethan winning the damage war at this point. There was a nice jump recovery. Ooh, whiff signatures coming out from Ethan. We saw him throw a lot of those out earlier and get punished quite often for them. He just needs one to hit, but he has to be careful. He's in kill percent right now. The down signature almost reaching. The second one does. LDZ knew the spot he needed to be in. He didn't quite know the timing the first time, but he knew it the second time, and he is going to take that game, keeping himself alive in this set against Ethan.
1-1 between these two. Ethan taking game number 1, LDZ game number 2, and now this is everything on the line. The potential for money, winning the Ascension bracket, moving into the Swiss next weekend, looking for the qualifier. This is for all the marbles.
Well, not all the marbles.
2, 1,
Well, I mean,
this is for not losing some of the marbles.
I feel like you're still losing a lot of marbles if you lose here.
Well,
Because your chance at more marbles is gone.
You're not losing all the marbles. It's a potential to lose some of the marbles that were never yours to begin with. And again, we're seeing the damage go even between these two. You're seeing LDZ fish a little bit with those down airs as Ethan was below him. Nice downlight into the side air from LDZ. Oh, that was an interesting read there. I don't know if he meant to ledge cancel that. If he meant to ledge cancel that in the direction that he did. Either way, I'm not sure exactly what he was going for there.
Well, either way, LDZ lost a little bit of momentum with that reverse down stick. And now Ethan trying to take advantage of LDZ's positioning, going for the recovery, finding the recovery, but LDZ still got a little bit of a wall touch. The down air is going to do it for that stock, though. Ethan taking an early lead against LDZ about a minute into the game, and it marks the beginning of the end of this set. If Ethan can keep this momentum going, we might be able to see him moving on to the top 16. LDZ needs to bring it back.
Now, last time we saw Ethan get the lead like this, it was in game 1, and it ended up leading to his victory. Nice string there from Ethan, incorporating the weapon toss into it, not falling prey to that down signature that LDZ has used multiple times. There's the nair, not even sending Ethan off screen yet. It's going to take more than a few of those to kill. Punishing that neutral light coming out. LDZ starting to throw the signatures, doesn't pick up the D-light recovery here. Misses the neutral signature again.
LDZ trying to make an approach on it. Ethan gets the weapon toss, tries to get on top of Ethan for the signature. Not going to connect, though. LDZ now trying to play the game aerially above the weapon spawn, and Ethan is going to find a scythe. It's going to give him a little bit of extra range to deal with the bow play. But LDZ doing a great job at keeping his momentum all around Ethan, just sticking to him, but in a way where he's not too close to get caught by some of these attacks. Ethan now getting the punish off on that side signature. Tons of force on it, but the recovery frames can cost you if it gets dodged. Ethan now making his way into the center of the stage looking for the kill. LDC's not quite dead yet.
Nice spot dodge there. Tried to find the recovery, but LDZ stayed grounded. LDZ in kill percent on his second stock. Ethan could potentially turn this into a 2-stock lead.
Ooh, that would have been it if he picked up the slide kick. Then recovery would have guaranteed him a kill. Another one, he knows it too. LDZ getting punched in the face as he has to make his way back to stage. Weapon throw dodge, gets back to stage, but the breakdance is gonna confirm it, and we do have it here. A 2-stock lead, Ethan above LDZ, and LDZ on his tournament stock.
The unarmed recovery is finally going to take out Ethan's first stock. So he's basically a full stock ahead of LDZ right now, 2-1. Ethan in white, LDZ just a little bit of yellow on his stock right now. There's a nice downlight into the side light. That is the option when a player is in white health rather than the D-light into the side air. electrolytes coming out from Ethan, just putting a little bit of poke damage onto LDZ, taking him into the orange. Nice dare, putting LDZ in an unfavorable position. You see him on the edge, but Ethan immediately disengages, goes back onto the stage to maintain map control. He has LDZ in all but kill percent. He actually does have him in kill percent, and it's going to be a gravity cancel down signature to take out the 2-time world champion. Big win for Ethan here.
That is a very huge feat on his part, knocking LDZ out. Now, we haven't always seen him in his top form, especially in an online tournaments. Usually we only get to see that in BCX or in major tournaments like championships. Summer championship excluded, I suppose. But moving into the end of this right now, that is going to be the last set we're going to be seeing for today. To confirm some of the other matches in the set, and to let you know who we have so far, I think Tybo
give us our top 16.
Yeah, we have on the top side, on the winners bracket side, we have Noel, Remy, Sandstorm, Wrenched, Boomy, Phazon, Isidru, and Atrophius making it into the top 16 for tomorrow. And then on the loser side so far, we have Lil Caps, Kosalix, Tiffany, Crocky, Midget, Daiku, and Ethan so far. And Tybo and his opponent have a game. We're not going to be seeing it, unfortunately. But
yeah, it's up in the air right now who will face Ethan. It will either be Tybo or Passive Menace.
I'm sorry.
I've been wanting to say it all day, dude. I wanted to say it all day.
I could tell, which is why I just kind of let you do it. But yeah, there we go. Ethan, the last one to be potentially put into tomorrow's brackets for top 16 is Tybo or Passive Menace. So, stay tuned for that. Keep an eye out to check the brackets back, whenever it might happen. But
I'm sure there will be a graphic that they will put on Twitter with everyone, just like they did for EU. We will be continuing tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll be rolling right into it with the top 16 of this tournament. Now, their placements of the top 16 will determine their seeding for the Swiss bracket that will be happening next week. And not only that, but it will also function as the final part of a regular tournament that does have a $2,000 prize pool. So there's seeding for next week on the line, which will lead into the seeding for the final actual top 8 of Masters with a $3,000 prize pool. And then there's also the $2,000 prize pool on the line tomorrow. So there's short-term and long-term goals here for the interesting format of Brawl League Masters. You can see it right in front of you there. We are currently in the Ascension process. EU finished up last week. We talked about the names a little bit earlier. They may flash those up later, but today and tomorrow is NA. You can see it right there in front of your screen. We have Agzo, Simple, 2D, Chetero, Precise, Maurice, and then you also have Cake, Addy Mestic, and Viper. Then on the loser side, you have Blue, Machete, Dobrain, Inframini, Lazar Spagnola, Fozy, Eram, and Venta. And so we will see what side of the brackets people will be on for next week based on tomorrow and what their seeding will be. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure to tune in tomorrow to this channel, twitch.tv/Brawl League Official at 2 p.m. Eastern. That is 1 p.m. Central. I don't know the other ones, but you can Google that on your own. Make sure to tune in. Don't miss it, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.